Okay, the entire board's here and our
Oh, we
meeting.
did do that
Like
too, because they used
presenters
to do
and
rides up to the class.
Yeah.
So, and I remember sitting, or it was my brother.
But they're not okay.
Oh, they're not.
Pilot, and-
He's done with
We're gonna begin the meeting because we're public meeting.
Terry's just torturing
Pledging.
himself by
We're gonna
being
pledge
sitting here through everyone's budget.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm up there staring at it every time I
I
do
know,
this.
and you make a comment
Every time, yes.
Oh, that picture? How many people have asked us about that picture?
All right, for real quick starters, you
Yes.
you have a couple of handouts that I put in front of you. One is the equalized tax rates that I talked about at the board meeting. And you'll see the equalized tax rates at the top. You see where Baldwinsville is in the yellow over on the right, in the hierarchy there. In fairness, East Syracuse, you probably know, East Syracuse lost their fire department or lost a fire contract. This is last year. They lost a fire contract, which caused them to dissolve their fire department, but all that revenue that they got from the fire contract was gone. And so they had to compensate for that, and that's why that number is just so out of whack at the top.
Sure they dissolved the fire department?
I thought they did. Well, maybe they just lost the revenue from the town.
I think so.
to
The wind took
whatever it
over
was,
a
yeah.
lot of their stuff.
Yeah. The second table down is the unadjusted tax rates. You can see where Baldwinsville is there. And then the back page is the change to tax levy last year. And after East Syracuse, we were third in that list. And the glass half full, from my perspective with that, is we were already decently low. And so, you know, when you're already decently low, and you make a jump, it moves you up that list. So, all right.
While you're looking at that table, I just want to point out where it shows assessed value of Baldwinsville's $452 million.
Yeah.
One of the benefits to that project that was being discussed, well, that number is projected to increase by $70 million. That means we can afford some of the stuff we're talking about today down the road, or we'd be having a hard conversation of things we might not be able to do in 2 years, 3 years.
Wow, so that's the number for that project?
That's what they
Wow.
told me, it was a $70 million project.
Nice, good.
But it shakes out that way, who knows?
The second document is the assessments, and front page 1 of 2 is Lysander, and page 2 of 2 is Van Buren. This is the assessment roll that was in place. I don't know what the date is. It's probably something like June 1st or June 30th or something this past summer, and that's what our tax. The dividing up of our taxes will be based on in the spring. Didn't change a lot from last year. Lysander went up 946,000 roughly, which is 0.28%, and Van Buren went up 308,000, which is 0.28%. But the big difference from last year is last year we were at 80% equalization, and this year we're at 70% equalization. So. Does not affect the distribution of our taxes.
Mark, can I interject real quick? Can you, just for the room, explain what equalization means?
So equalization rates are what they use to get to, if they freeze the assessments, they use an equalization rate to get to what the market value is, what they believe the market value is New York State does in the region that we're in. So, and I don't know how they arrive at that. I'm sure they do some market study or something like that, but they've determined that when our assessments are frozen, like I'll pick my house, it's like $245,000 or something. They just say my house at 245 is 70% of its market value. So the value is whatever that number works out to. Last year it was 80% of it. So they must think that our home values are rising. without getting into a big discussion about it, I'm not a big fan of frozen assessments. I don't think that they achieve what they say they do, which is to keep taxes lower. Taxes get kept low by not spending. So, or by offsetting expense with other revenue streams besides taxes. So I just got, it is what it is. And the good thing is that both the town of Van Buren and the town of Lysander's equalization rates are the same. So it makes it easy for us to distribute taxes, as opposed to the 1 year, 2 years ago, they were different. And thank God for the county, they caught it. That I didn't catch it. It's the first time in 25 years that they were different. And, shame on me, I didn't look. But the guy at the county did.
Since you gave us numbers, you want to explain the other things?
What other things?
Special franchises, utility, does that affect village at all, or is that all those properties out of Ceiling Railroad or whatever?
Honestly, I don't know what a lot of them are. They are different classifications for property. I'm assuming special franchises are the utilities that pay us franchise tax. And
Totally exempt. Schools, churches, and there's
I'm
some.
presuming that's what, yeah. Honestly, I never have asked.
Okay, I was just, told you I like numbers.
They just told me use the bottom number on the right-hand side, and that's
Okay.
what we do. So, you know who could answer that is Teresa Golden, from the assessor for the two towns. So, all right, I'd like to start. I just want to go over the agenda real quick, or the process, I guess, which is for the department head who's up to just review their budget for the benefit of the board that's here, and that is to help the board understand what their spending is, so that as we get closer, as we go through the process, they have an appreciation for what things are happening in each of those groups and how they impact the budgets. And it's not one of these things where the board, myself and or the board might be adjusting the budget in a vacuum without having reviewed the budget with the department heads. And so the process will be, we'll go through that with each department head today, and then in the coming days, I will get you a tentative budget which includes revenue, and you'll see I like to call it the gap between what the revenue is projected and what these expenses are, and you'll see where we need to get to, either by generating more revenue or by reducing expenses somewhere or finding other sources like grants or transfers from capital funds and things like that. So, and we're not really going to cover personnel today. That's the December 2nd meeting, which will start with an executive session so that we're not having what can be an awkward meeting where we're sitting around the table talking about people's pay who might be sitting at the table.
Just throw them out.
Yeah. I just think that, we did that 1 year and it was
Yeah.
very awkward.
Yep.
So, and that's not to say that the results of that meeting won't come out and be public as part of the budget, but there's no need, the sausage making needs to be public.
And I would also add that I think when we set those salaries, that's not setting the budget.
That's right.
Those individuals have an opportunity to return to the board and say, hey.
Well, it's really important that we understand that people's pay is not dictated by the budget. The budget is a plan for how we're going to cover those expenses. And so I had somebody, the first year I was here, we had somebody in one of the departments say that we'd made a mistake in the budget, like a 20% error in how their pay was listed. And they're like, I just got a 20% raise. I'm like, no, 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 because the year that we make a mistake the other way, you're not gonna take a 20% cut in pay. The budget is a plan for how we pay, how we cover those expenses. And the pay, that's why the first meeting of our new year, the board passes the salary roster that we present, that has everybody's pay listed on it for the jobs. So we'll do it like that.
And somewhere down the road, there's a public hearing, and I always go back to that 1 year where an individual came in and observed that we hadn't covered streetlights in our budget. Oops.
Which is a big number. So, okay. And with no further ado, we're gonna start out with Jody Paulus, the village clerk. Her budget is in the first tab. The tabs are in the order of the people who will be presenting, so for the board's benefit, I did not give every department head a book. I hope that's okay with you, but
Okay, so we're gonna skip over page 1, skip over the salaries for now. So my village projects, project that I wanna do in the upcoming year is our new payroll system. We've been with paychecks for a number of years, I don't even know how long. But we have to advance. During the past year, past couple of months, I've looked at 3, looked at ADP, we've looked at AccuData and Paylocity. In the spring, ADP came in and gave a great presentation. Obviously, they're one of the bigger ones. They have, all the bells and whistles and everything that we may need. And then in the fall, we contacted Paylocity and also AccuData, which was one that reached out to Bruce during the mayor's meeting.
Gave me a pen.
Gave him a pen, which he uses all the time.
Sign him up.
So I put in this request of $56,000. That is the highest one I put in there from ADP. Not saying that I want to go with ADP. Taryn and I have been in a couple of meetings. The one that we thought was most comfortable was actually AccuData. They can do from new hiring process, onboarding, so I don't have to make packets for everybody and everybody has to fill out everything. Everything is straight on the computer, they can fill it out, in real time, and it, generates back to me. What I want to get away from in the payroll system is everybody handing in paper sheets. So every 2 weeks, I have the police, I have, Renee, I have the court, they're all handing me paper. And so I have to physically go in there, and that's more areas where, I can mess up, I can transpire numbers, it's very cumbersome. The only one that's not like that right now is DPW. I can automate, Maria hits a button and I can import it and it goes out in there. I do have to adjust some things sometimes if there's like overtime and stuff like that. But this, the new system, every department head, everybody can go in, put their hours in, then it's reviewed by the department head. They check off on it, boom, it automatically goes to me, and I'm just kind of like the final pass. Okay, everybody's, and I send it off. Another good thing that I liked about AccuData is they do a spreadsheet right now for the New York State report. So that's nothing that usually every month, at the end of the month, like on Tuesday, it takes me about 4 hours to complete that report from all the information from the month. And again, I'm manually entering everything. They can do a report for me, and all I have to do is upload it to the New York State retirement system, and it's, easy peasy, and that would cut down a lot of work. The other 2 systems, Paylocity came in at like $10,000, and I think AccuData came in at like $12,000 a year, and that's why I just put the $56,000. Not that I want to spend that much, but again, that's why.
So that's an annual
Yeah,
charge?
that's an annual. And right now, I think, for Paylocity, we spend like or paychecks, we spend like about 35 or 40, I think it is.
Down
And
here,
that's
there's
going
something that
up.
says 17. I don't know.
Well, that's the next page. Oh,
Okay.
that's the next page. That's the next page.
Birthday.
So that's the project that I wanna put in for this year.
Is that key data,
Mhm.
are these, anybody local? Because I remember that was a challenge with paychecks that are,
Yeah,
like, the time clock screwed up.
AccuData is, they have representatives in New York City, but I think they're down, weren't they in North Carolina? Were they in North
Yeah,
Carolina?
they had an office in Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
And North Carolina.
Not North
was
Carolina.
their headquarters.
Yeah, Paylocity was in the Midwest, and obviously Paychecks is like Rochester area, so, yeah.
Do they have, and not that we're making decisions right now, but do they have other municipalities as customers? And
They
have
do
you had
act-
a chance to reach out to anybody?
AccuData does, I haven't gotten that far yet
Yeah.
to see, for references, I haven't done that part yet, but yes, I know they're, like I said, they were at the mayor's meeting, so they work with a lot of municipalities, especially with them doing that New York State report, so I know they do. Yeah.
So this is gonna lead into the next page. The fixed 56,000 you have for the project,
Mhm.
is that the same or different than the 56,000 reflected in the
It's the
supplies?
same because
Yeah.
the supplies, because that's our annual monthly bill from the pay.
How come she gets the page too?
I asked my question appropriately.
So it's the monthly bill that we get
All right.
from, yeah.
So would we, next year, in the next budget year, be
Yeah.
spending $112,000?
No.
Okay,
no, It would
so,
only be, yeah.
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it wouldn't necessarily be in that and in this.
Right, that's why I have it
Okay,
highlighted,
okay.
yes, that's why I
I
have it
figured it was
highlighted.
in red for a reason, but
Yes.
I wanted to understand.
Yeah, so leading to page 3, just regular, supply stuff. Legal notices, NICOM, I just put stuff a little bit higher. Obviously the postal rates, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Miscellaneous supplies, our messaging system, our social media, which has been working out very well. So that number of the 99,000, yes, is reflected with that, the 56,000. So that's.
Is your miscellaneous supplies that more than doubled, is that reflective of what you've been spending?
Yeah, it's
this year?
been more, everything's,
Okay.
I mean, that miscellaneous supplies could be the cleaning supplies, paper is very expensive. And we go through a lot of paper. And then, yeah, just
We'll
different
get the
things.
payroll off the paper. You won't have to-
Exactly,
And to
exactly.
the degree that we can keep that $56,000 number down,
Right,
that keeps that
Right,
number
yeah.
down there, and,
yeah.
so.
Is the message
So what-
system the thing you
what was
set
the
up for
AccuData?
contacting?
Yep, yep,
That's an annual fee.
yep,
AccuData was around 12.
yep, yes,
Is there a codes budget?
I believe so.
Should not general code updates be in your budget?
Well, that's the general code that we have on our website, it could, I mean, it's always fallen under the village clerks, but, and then I have to send out the, when we have the public hearings and we do the local laws,
That comes out of
so,
that?
yeah, I have to send it.
I was thinking it was just updating
Yeah.
E360.
No,
Okay. Kevin would pay for it.
No, I was just gonna say, so that line item is us having the access to
E-codes,
e-codes
Right.
through the website.
all of that, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then I know, my next one is the Wind Hill Design, I know we are looking into a new website. I didn't know if it's coming out of here, I didn't know where everything was going with that, so I highlighted it, but I don't know where that's gonna fall. You know, when we do the website.
Is that like an annual maintenance that we have to pay?
Yes, yeah, we pay it, yeah.
Who's watching for?
Moving on to page 4, I just have this like I did last year as the election, just in case we have some nominal fee, because now that we switched over to the county, they don't charge us for anything, but, so that is just in there as a nominal fee. Page 5, we have our server. We always have something going on with the server, and John Hart. If there's anything that's going on with the server, so I just bumped that up a little bit. Page 6, we have our HVAC and our maintenance agreement with the police. We usually split the Syracuse time and alarm maintenance. So I have kept that the same because nothing's been increased with that. On page 7, the National Grid. So last year, I actually had the budget at a little bit more, but it was taken down to 17,000 for the budget. But we actually had some bills that weren't generated in the spring for National Grid. We never got the bills, and then they figured out their mistake, and then we got a huge bill for like a couple $1,000s. So we had to adjust that, and due to the National Grid rising costs, I've increased that to 30. So that's where we actually should be for the National Grid. Page 8 is just our regular maintenance, cleaning supplies, our trash removal, our janitorial service. It's usually.
Any reason why it's the same when it goes down to 2 days a week for janitorial? Just out of curiosity, that was something that snuck up to me yesterday when I looked at it.
They do it on,
Or have they been at 2 days?
they've been at 2 days, they've been at 2 days,
They've
yeah, I'm
been.
sorry, yeah, they've been at 2 days a week. They come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then if I have any special, projects like them shampooing the rug, or they're supposed to be actually waxing the floors, that's usually another special charge that I add in there. But yeah, it's 2 days.
Okay.
Page 9 is our telephone. It hasn't increased. I don't know if there's an increase anticipated, so I kept that the same.
I thought our internet was supposed to be free.
No,
What?
I thought the internet for village buildings was free. I'm wrong.
Isn't it free for you to use?
No.
we pay like, no, we do have a bill that comes. We do have a bill that comes.
Oh, in the agreement?
Yeah. In what agreement?
Oh, the franchise thing that Mike negotiates, and they just tell him what they'll pay.
I'll have to look into it, because I thought that, you're still gonna have to pay for a landline, but I thought the
Yeah.
internet was free.
As far as I know, we still get the, we have the bill that I get every month.
Yeah, that would be good to know, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just switched to highway too because it was getting expensive.
it is.
Maybe it is free and the phone's at $2,500.
Oh, it could be. It could be. The next is our insurance, so, this was made up before, we just switched the insurance that'll go into effect on Tuesday.
That was my note. So
Yeah.
what did we just approve?
Yes, we just approved,
So do we know what the new?
well, it'll be, cause this bill's usually split, right, Mark? Yeah, so our bill is gonna be, when it all shakes out, probably like, 99,000. But we pay this partly at one point and then partly at another point, so it's 2 different budgets, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in, well, and the other thing is this is shared, half general fund, a quarter water fund, and a quarter sewer fund. So you're gonna hear me during this process pointing out the big ticket items that if we offload the sewer system, there's gonna be an expense that the sewer system has been bearing that has to get picked up somewhere.
Police.
So, and again, as I always say with those things, it has to be justifiable. The distribution has to be justifiable between, and insurance is the one that is, I'll say, is the most challenging because it's liability insurance and it's really hard to figure out what the liability is for non-water and non-sewer buildings, equipment, people, all that. I have no idea. So we dartboarded that one at half, quarter, and a quarter, and I think that's fair. everything else we distribute is really nailed down to things like exact salary distribution or exact health insurance usage distribution, those kind of things. But this one's like, you know, a balloon. But anyway, so round numbers, if it was 100 grand, 25,000 that we laid off to sewer in prior years is gonna have to move somewhere. And that's a discussion too in this group, is the timing of the sewer transition if we do that. And do we have to prorate expenses based on, we only had sewers for half the year, 3/4 of the year, quarter of the year, I don't know. So it's all gotta be kind of worked through.
It have to be moved after our meeting.
Okay.
Okay, page 11 is our,
While we're there, could I interrupt to say, I would like the board to think about, this was 98,000 something was the quote, but he offered for an additional $4,000 and change that we could increase our umbrella coverage to 5 million. We're currently at 2 or 3. His recommendation was to go higher.
For liability insurance, or blanket liability or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know insurance, I don't speak that language.
Yeah.
But, so that would increase this by 5,000 with that.
page 11 is our village property taxes. It's just, again, an estimate, I'm not really sure what it's gonna be. They come in every year in January. Page 12 is, there's our franchise and charter fees again. They really haven't changed much, so I kept those exactly the same.
I was gonna ask how long that's been the rate, is it?
It's, I mean, since I've been doing it, it's been the same. I don't know when the last time it was changed, honestly.
And just, I'm gonna interject something too about the previous page, tax on village property. All of that are fees that are generally paid to the county for sewer access. For the most part, it's sewer access to the county. So if we have a tax exempt property on Canton Street and we don't pay any taxes on it, but we'd still have to pay the county sewer assessment for the year. So that's what most of that is. There's a few other assorted things in there, smaller things that go to the county.
That was fire tax, but.
It might also be that too. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at them. But it's, yeah, so I didn't want anybody to think that we weren't getting our tax exempt status. We'll call it that.
And if the sewers change hands, that won't go away. That doesn't.
The next one is our workers' comp. Workers' comp is effective in July, and so they were not able to give me a quote, so I went with what we have, right now. Unfortunately, I don't have anything for it.
What is the actual 68,126?
That's a good question, I don't remember, I was trying to think of it when I was doing it
Like,
right
that's a lot
now.
higher than what we're
Yeah.
budgeting for, so.
I don't remember, I'm sorry. Page 14, our Renaissance Life, it's been the same, that's all the insurance on all the trustees and the police. So that's been the same rate that we have.
And department heads.
And department, excuse me.
Anybody get hurt in DPW this year?
Get hurt in DPW?
That would have on a workers' comp claim?
No.
Think maybe in police?
Well, just Joe, Sarah, when he got
When he
his,
fell in the,
when he fell on the
computer cable.
wires. Yeah, that's really it, we haven't had a lot. Our disability insurance, that pretty much is staying the same. I know my numbers aren't exciting, but that is staying the same. Probably page 16 is the biggest jump, which is our health insurance. So, last year the health insurance went up 14%, this year it went up 18%, and that is with the consortium. If we were to have gone with, just regular Blue Cross and Blue Shield through Brown and Brown, that would have gone up 20%. So, I mean, that's just overall. We have many employees that are on family coverage. We have 3 employees that are going to do the HSA. I've had a couple of employees that have changed their insurance, going from like gold to platinum. And then I had one of our employees that wasn't on insurance last year that is now going to be on insurance in 2026. So I was still working these numbers as of last week when I finally got everybody's insurance in. And then, we have the employee reimbursements. So this is a figure, the 604, that's the closest I could get with what we're going to pay for everybody's health and everybody's dental and medical, or vision. The only thing is with the dental and vision, that now doesn't go up until July, because we are with CSEA, and their rates don't switch until July, but they don't go up very much. And I've probably got about $38,000 in those who do not take the insurance. Many of those are the police, so they get the buyout. And then we do have a couple of non-union employees that get the buyout also.
So where does the money for those opt-outs, if it's not in this, where does that come from? Is it just somehow fold into payroll?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I did see it on, on
It's
you
in the
and
insurance
Melissa,
opt-out,
and
yeah.
then I also saw it in the
Yeah.
police budget, which I had noted.
Because it ends up being compensation
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Like,
And we do pay, we have insurance for, it will be 5 retirees. 2 are single, 1 is just gonna be dental and vision, and then 2 are family. So, obviously, they do pay different rates, but, we do have to pay for that medical insurance also due to the contracts.
And did you tell me we had a couple of people that are gonna be above age 26, so they come off the Affordable Care Act type thing?
Yes, so, we do have some of the new, we have, 2 of the DPW employees. 1 came off in November, the other one's going to become, coming on in January, so those 2 are 26. And then, next year, we do have, one of our new police officers will be 26, so he will be coming on. The other ones have a little bit of ways to go, they're still their parents.
And our retirees, they come off when they hit 62.
65,
Except
yeah,
for
when they,
those 2.
right, but when they hit 65 or when they apply for Medicare, they automatically come off. And I get a letter from, Excelis, and I get a letter when somebody's gonna be turning 26 a couple months ahead, and they're like, hey, so-and-so's gonna be off the insurance, so we adjust that,
A lot of factors in that.
yeah.
One of our Sans Lisa did.
She's still got a couple years.
Anybody ever talk to her? Anybody ever talk to her and ask her why?
How many insurances she collects?
So that's my budget.
All right. Any questions? Okay. All right, we're gonna move to the court. Judge Rubenstein, incoming Judge Rubenstein would have been here, but he's traveling, family travel, right? I think so, yeah. For the holiday, and so, and actually out of the country, I think, so he's not able to be here, but I've been in communication with him, and he has the budget information, and tends to stay apprised of what's going on, and wants to be involved with it, so that's good. So Cheryl Adsit is here to take us through.
Okay. So, for expensive, nothing has changed. I'm just using the same as last time. I think I still have a lot of money left in from last time, so everything is.
It's the wrong room to say that.
I know, well, I mean, prices do go up, but
the
Basically, the
group
office
meetings,
supplies and publications, we really don't get books that much anymore. Telephone, John Hart, education, postage, landline, that's our, interpreters that we use to call for court. And I think we've only used that a couple
You've
times.
only used it
Once, yeah, it was only like $100 or something, right, yeah. So, shredding, we all split that. Johnson Controls, and I back up. Basically, that's it. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Yes. So, I got the grant. I don't know if I have the grant yet, but we did put in for a wand and a metal detector with the bins. So that would be a portable one, just wheel it in, they walk through it, put their stuff in the bins. So,
So this would only be an expense if you get the grant funding for
the
it?
bailiff would only be, yes, the bailiff would be,
That's on the personnel.
yeah, personnel, if we get a bailiff and we get the grant. So, the way that the security assessment went, it looks like we might be able to get the grant, which is a good thing. Even if we don't get the metal detector, at least we can have a wand if we see something or, so, other than that. Huh?
So just like going to the dome.
Yeah, so, but, you know, I had to add the bins
People
in.
angrier at the dome or when they're facing the judge is the question.
The people going to the dome are happy.
Depends on how the team is playing.
They don't get wounded on the way out.
I know we're not talking about page one stuff, but
Yes,
the bailiff,
yeah,
we gotta double check that 2.5 hours, because I think they get a minimum, I think they get a minimum 3, if not 4.
That's if it's with
If it's
police.
a
This
yes.
eliminates the police from
we
having
would still have
overtime.
personnel for the police, because we would need one in the courtroom
Okay.
and one just for out there to be our bailiff, to check people in. I got this through other courts, they actually, some of them run $40, some of them run $100. Some courts do $30, but we have to stay open at least for an hour. If we only have 5 people come in on our docket, we still have to be open for an hour. So we still have to pay for a bailiff for at least an hour. We're not gonna be here no more than 2.5 hours. If we are, we would just lock the door. So,
So the
So we're
intent based
thinking
on.
this is not one of our officers then?
This is in addition to.
yes, you would have to have somebody else.
I didn't understand that. I thought we were not having
We would still have
police
to have
officer over here on
police.
time and a half.
Well, then I would still need, because who's gonna be in the courtroom? If a bailiff is out there checking people in, we still need security in here.
So our officer would still be in here. And
Unfortunately.
that has not historically been reflected in your budget, right? That's in the
That'd be in the
police
police
budget. So
I'm
this is,
assuming, yes.
yeah, so this is
New one.
the 4,500 is for the person
So it's sitting up there.
And the police officer's never been dedicated. If there was a call, we've always been
That's
told
right.
they would have to leave.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, I could see if I could get somebody else besides the police department to come in here. Don't know if they would approve of that.
Do the bailiffs carry weapons?
Yes. Some of them do.
They're usually
Let me rephrase
policemen.
it. Some of them do.
Right. The
Yes.
reason I ask is because in case that somebody doesn't leave, the police are still somebody.
Right.
And I think it happens rarely, you don't see them outside here very often.
No, no, not that they have overtime. I don't see them, now that they're getting the overtime, they're dedicated to stay here. So,
So it's usually someone coming in off shift,
yes,
not one of the 2 who are out on patrol.
right. Right.
So I guess I'm still trying, so are we thinking the bailiff would be another one of our officers?
No,
Okay,
no, that's not an option.
okay.
I would actually get somebody through the unified court system, through, like you go through the sheriffs, I would go through Lisa Dow.
Okay,
and say, hey, you know, she gives us a list, we would make some phone calls, this is what I wanna pay.
Okay.
It's-
Because I think Mike's original question was, our officers in their contract, they get paid a minimum of 3 hours
Yes.
for overtime work.
Yeah,
So I think that's where his question came from. So we would, as long as we're not held to their contract, then.
right.
Okay. Wanted to make sure we.
I mean, I could get somebody, look for 2 bailiffs, who they would be called. One for out there, because courts that have the security like that, one is in the front and one is in the courtroom.
That's a discussion you could have with the new chief.
I mean, it's not
You're
much.
getting the same level of
Monetary.
security.
Yeah.
You're getting the same level of security, but you could save some money by not having to pay the mandatory minimum,
That's fine,
then you should absolutely look at it.
I mean,
And
that's
until the,
something that you guys have to bring back to me to
Right,
look at.
right.
until that
not for me.
squad of new officers comes on, guys are working more overtime, I think, than they, I mean, this would be an easy shift, but I'm not sure they'd mind not having to come in,
That's the
So-
whole idea, get your.
stay with their family. Yeah.
I mean, even for court purposes, like I said, I mean, somebody's out there and you just lock the door in an hour. You know what I mean? And then we just have somebody in here for another 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Once you got all your defendants have come through, nobody
Right.
else needs to come into
I
the
mean,
court.
basically, you know, our
That's
court
open to the
was,
public though. Some real geeky people just go down and watch. This once in a while.
You definitely need to want that guy.
Yes,
so,
And we wanna keep them out of here.
hypermetal knee games.
I mean, we never had more than maybe like 50, 60, since we don't have the DA here anymore or anything like that, so. But
So if you don't get the grant,
that's something that,
this sounds like it's an important enough project that if you don't get the grant,
that's something that the village would have to
somehow
consider,
gotta
just
find
for,
money. Okay.
because the amount of it, like the grant itself, just for the equipment, was only $2,246. I mean, that's what I submitted the grant in for, and everything was gone through, I went through, what did I go through?
As is, the best Cheryl's got is he put up a sign that says no guns and knives allowed or something. Oh.
Well, I mean, knock on wood, I mean, we haven't had anything like that.
Liverpool's court even says no bags.
Right, and they have a line for people that they, you know that could be people that could be troubled. You know,
In
and
this
stuff.
day and age, you can't tell who that is.
Right, exactly.
Look at him, he looks innocent.
I don't like the codes violation you gave me.
Well, it was the last straw, that's usually what happens.
But basically, I mean, that's what I'm asking,
Okay.
so.
All right. Any other questions for Cheryl? All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
I know we're not supposed to be looking at salaries, but are we intending to pay Renee less this year than we did last year?
I thought that was awesome.
Oh, stop, let me ask Cheryl before she,
Yes.
well, can you tell me what the current justice makes? I thought she was not that, no. Do you know? Could you double check?
I got that from Jody,
Yeah.
that's,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, but, like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
2,400, 24,000.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Grab pizza before you leave, Joan.
I'll be there for
I'm hoping it was just a
Put this
typo.
on the board with the police.
Maybe
I don't
so.
want that to me.
All right, so that question, you gotta compare apples to apples, so the very left column, budget 25, 26 goes with the column in yellow. So the left column includes the insurance opt-out from the year before also.
The 54,275
Yes, it's not just pay.
includes the 2,000.
Yes, so it's
Okay.
really 52, if you wanna compare the salaries, 52.
52, okay, thank you.
And that brings up a good point, though. I think I did it last year also. one of the things you'll get from me before the December 2nd meeting is a summary of all the non-union employees and the requests by their department heads for pay changes. So, and it'll be summary, it shouldn't say that, it'll be detailed, it'll be a schedule of all those, so that you understand what the pay increases are that are being requested by department, by individual, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like you're working in a, you know, in the dark, kind of feeling around for what to do. And you can also probably better administer equity, if you want to call it that, across departments. So, okay, next is Renee McManigal, the director of Camden Woods, to talk about her expenses.
All right, so we didn't do a lot of change with ours from last year because we are trying to minimize as much as we can. I'm trying to keep things as close to possible where we are. We've adjusted a little bit. Conference and seminar, we really didn't use any last year, but we have a couple of seminars throughout the year that I think our neighborhood advisor may need to attend for adult services. So I left that in the budget. Mileage includes our mileage and our DMV abstracts that we have to do for our Beeville Express drivers. Because Beeville Express does get donations in their program, so we do try to offset that cost, and we do pay it back to the village in our budget when we can. So we brought that one down a little bit. Our computer and our copier service is up a little bit. That may change, because I have a feeling that we may need to update our equipment. But we're trying to keep it as close as we can, because we've been printing the newsletter in-house now instead of print, because the school doesn't do it for us anymore. They gave us a discounted rate and it was reasonable for the printing, however, that has gone away, because that has gone away at the school. So that may change a hair, I'm hoping not. Printing and postage is going to stay about the same. We try to send out as little as we can, and we pay through the board, our board at Canton Woods, for the permit mailing for our newsletters, so it doesn't come out of our postage through the village.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. Our custodial supplies, carpets and mats, we brought that down from last year because last year we lost our custodian and we ended up having to have Supreme Clean come in for a while and do some interim cleaning for us, so that should be a little bit less this year. Our gas and electric hopefully will not change dramatically. I'm trying to control the temperature within the building as much as I can and keep it comfortable without.
Do you have a programmable thermostat so that when you
Yes.
go home, it drops to?
Yes, and we have them
Not
all
too cold,
set.
but-
We have them all set to turn down.
Because we'll send Paul over to program it.
Yeah, we have them throughout the building, and we have them all set, so that they kick down after we're gone, and they kick on just before we come in, so.
Okay.
Yep, and then our telephone, internet, and website, we're gonna stay just about the same, we've gone down just a little bit. I'm hoping to look at the price of our internet and try to get it down. We may switch as well, like Taryn did, to Verizon. I keep getting advertisements for them, so I'm gonna price it out to see if that would be less for us. We'd like to try and change over if we can. Equipment, we keep about 1,000, because last year we ended up having to replace one of the computers. Thankfully for John, so we try to keep just a little bit of money there for that. Our office expenses have gone up a little bit, of course, because of paper prices and the custodial supplies and that, so I try to keep them as well controlled as I can with that. However, I think we're gonna need a little bit of an increase there. Our equipment, with the maintenance of the fire alarms and the air conditioning, has been pretty good last year, so we're gonna knock on wood. We're hoping to keep it on a bare minimum if possible. Our trash and recycling, we pay every quarter, so that stays the same. And then Taryn and Jeff and I all talked about putting a little bit of money into a repair fund, so in case something happens like our electric door from this year, we have money to cover that.
Taryn, can I ask you, is this 4,500 replacing the 3,000 that I saw in your budget that disappeared?
Yeah.
Okay. So up a little higher, but,
Yeah, and I think that
Yeah,
cost is
appropriate.
more in line with actually what.
Okay.
Because if you remember from that budget line item, there's Shacksboro Museum, the visitor center.
Yeah.
And pulled from, we spent more on Canton.
Yeah.
than we did with-
they're more located in parks than
Yeah.
Canton is.
Yeah.
Woods is, so. Oh, one question on your personnel services page, you do have snow removal on there, is that the appropriate place for snow removal?
That's been there, I left it there because I was not sure. To be
You've
totally
been
honest
paying
with you.
somebody to do it?
Do you pay somebody to do it, or is
I
it?
apparently, from prior to me coming in, when Ruth was director, I guess whoever the custodian was, Eric at that time, I guess they gave him a stipend of $600 for coming in early to remove the snow. However, Rick knows that it's part of his
All right,
daily job, so
saved us $600,
I
thanks.
think we should just keep it in the salary.
And you
just
two are sure
remove that
that
line.
4,500 is gonna cover taking care of that building?
So far this year, I've.
So-
Because I'm proposing to the town that we're gonna absorb all maintenance henceforth.
I think the
Because of
big
sickness.
unknown is the HVAC system. I know once a
Yes.
year when they come in, that's quite a hefty bill, I think that's close to $2,000.
Yes, that one, and the only other thing that I can, other than the emergency door that we have, is the electric door broke.
Yeah, which was supposedly being paid for by the towns and
Right,
they
they
all done
did,
it.
yes. The only
So I don't
other
want to
thing
involve
that
them at all if we can.
really we've encountered was the bathroom, twice we've had the bathrooms back up, and it ended at the end of the day, so they had to come in after hours, so we got the after hour charge on those. But other than that, I mean, we won't say too much.
Close the bathrooms at 2. Oh, I'm going in there for late afternoon deposits.
If I could, I would. You know, so, I mean, I don't know what to guess on that one, because I fear that, you know, something could come up, yes. Do I think there's a possibility? I mean, a lot of those furnaces are very old. However, in the same breath, Van Buren has already done a community development grant for this year to replace the oldest furnace. So that's supposed to be coming up in this coming year. They've got that in the works, which we're in the process right now, trying to get the radon testing done, which has been fun. But, I mean, I'm hoping they're gonna follow through with that as well.
Taryn, do they talk to you about that when they go for a grant for doing something like that?
No, it's a little frustrating, truthfully, Wendy and their engineer trying to manage me, this is what we're gonna do. So it's, yeah.
They're
but-
not very good communicators.
No, but with a lot of the upgrades that have been going on over the last year and previous to Renee and myself with the roof, and then we have doors and windows, I think the maintenance is moving in the right direction. I know one thing I pushed hard for with the grant, talking to Jason, the engineer at Van Buren, was the lining, the moisture barrier in the basement. There is a smell,
Yes,
a
yes.
sewer smell that comes out of the basement. I have I suspect where that's coming from. But a moisture barrier would significantly reduce that smell, and that is part of the grant, next year?
Yes. If they follow through, yes, that was supposed to be.
But Jeff has gone through and he's replaced all the lights, they're switched over to LEDs. I think the big heartache is the sewer backup. There is a flat pipe, so what ends up happening is, the water will surcharge and push all the goodies out. If there's a lot of solids though, that's where we have the problem. So eventually, we're gonna have to look at the main and see if we can correct that problem. I suspect it kind of is what it is, just with the depth of the main. But between the plumbing and the HVAC, those are the big heartaches. But I think 4,500 would would suffice to cover those.
Could make it 5,100 and put the 600 from the snow shoveler.
There you go. No, it's in this job description, so we're taking it out of the budget.
Right.
Yeah, I was moving it, because I think we,
Oh, you
All right,
need more.
any other questions? All right, I think I'm next. I'll direct you to my page 2, which is blank, and I don't need any equipment. I know about it. My page 3, contractual, treasurer contractual. Really standard stuff, except I will tell you, there's a lot of software stuff that is headed up. The office, I'm guesstimating is going to 150, based on what Jen was saying to me. Adobe Acrobat, that's my license, it's on my software. So I'm just asking you to reimburse me for half of it, because I use it mostly for the village. But it's not, the village doesn't pay for the license to begin with. Zoom, probably through an omission, was not budgeted last year. We have to ask ourselves how much we're using Zoom, because there's about 3 or 4 copies in the village. You got one, I think the police have one, I have one. I don't know how much we use Zoom.
With the new Microsoft 365, it includes Teams,
Right,
so I don't think we'll ever use them.
Right.
Teams is better anyways.
yeah, no, I agree. So we could, I was gonna renew that because other people have used it, my copy of it, the codes people have used it, but I don't ever use it.
Yeah, I prefer not to.
I only go to meetings hosted by other people.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not hosting it.
Well, I'm gonna take it out of my budget and probably just connect with everybody and ask them, make sure it's not in theirs or whatever, to not renew it.
Send me a Teams.
Unless, but we have meetings,
Yeah, with the new Microsoft 365 that John Hart is switching us over to,
Yeah.
that includes Microsoft Teams,
Microsoft Teams.
which
would
is,
we ever want to do that kind of thing with public board meetings and stuff? We'd want, I'm not sure we'd want people who don't come here to interact up on the screen. I'll never remember looking at the screen.
I don't know if you have to have it interactive, you could have it just where it's like, they view the meeting, I think, but I don't think they can, interject. But I don't know.
We just mute them.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any interest by,
No, it can be chaotic, really just.
but if it's just viewing, I don't know if the community has interest, if they,
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like during the pandemic, we did
a lot.
Oh, we did Facebook Live though, right?
There were people on
We
that.
didn't
Yeah.
do it through Zoom. We did our meeting through Zoom, but
Yeah.
then we
Yeah.
put it out on Facebook Live, so that could be done for whatever.
just,
Yeah.
that's not part of this.
And as far as like if Mark's down in Florida, or if anybody needs to Zoom in for the meeting, or I guess Teams in for the meeting and stuff, it's a lot easier to put that in there.
Can't participate until we develop a policy.
I know, but you know, what I mean.
Oh, I forgot about me zooming in from Florida.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, if we take this out as where you're gonna be Teamsing in from Florida,
All right, well,
that'd be nice.
I guess before I take it out, I'll talk to John,
All right.
just be sure.
Yeah.
Or the question is, do we have to have 3 licenses in the village? If you give yours up, that doesn't mean that you couldn't use
Could we
someone
have like a
else's.
village one?
Yeah, yeah, that anybody in the village who
I
needs
know
it.
you can do it with Teams. Teams can be a component in Microsoft Outlook calendar. So you can schedule it and then somebody else can't schedule to use it at the same time.
I would think we should go there, the
Yeah.
state, the county, they're all in that
Yeah,
format now.
but then that would alleviate us double booking the license, the Zoom license or something. All right. Go to my PC, I use every day. That's remote, my remote access. It is a pricey license, but I honestly use it every day. And it enables me to do all kinds of things from home or remotely onto this machine in here, and even some of these scheduled at 4 o'clock in the morning, I printed them here so they wouldn't interrupt Jody and Melissa. And they were all ready. I came down at whatever, 8 o'clock and got them and put these books together.
But there's no increase in that, there's no change.
No. So, the accounting system, I'm presuming is gonna go up to 1,600. Computer services, same. Classes and webinars, same. The backup. The SAM renewal, I pay a service to renew that for us.
Surface to air missiles?
A service, a service.
What does SAM
Yeah.
stand
Oh.
for?
SAM
Surface to air
is
missiles, that's-
SAM is, what's it stand for? SAM is the federal grant system. And we have to be registered in SAM to get different grants or payments. And and it is a finicky, somewhat complex system that takes a long time to navigate through. So I pay a service called, I can't remember the name, but it's like Federal SAM Grants or something, and they renew it for us. And they mark it up. I mean, I don't think it costs $500 a year, but they are able to navigate it. They know how to navigate it. And, so that's what that cost is. New York Government Fiscal Officers Association, that's my membership there, which I use for interacting and asking questions. NICOM, same thing. Accounting support is same, that's me asking a CPA for feedback on certain things, and then miscellaneous, whatever happens. I'm changing this one to projects, but I have to get a third-party review done for us. Just somebody to come in and look at the way I've been doing things and tell us that it's all okay. I don't think it's not okay, but I don't think it's perfect, so, and I don't know what I don't know, so it would be helpful to have somebody come in and do a review like that, a CPA.
Is this something you do every year? Like, did you spend the $7,500
No,
this year,
no.
or you haven't done it, so
I haven't,
you're just rolling that over to,
I haven't.
okay.
Do we do, other than, is that the annual review
Yeah, that's it.
versus
Yeah.
an audit?
Yeah, it's.
Would you project doing an audit
it's-
every so many
Well, it's
years?
you could do an audit every so many years, yeah, and a review is,
Usually less expensive, so I'd
yeah,
say.
right. And, it's debatable whether you need a full-blown audit every year. But that's a question for a CPA, not the one who we're gonna pay to do it. To ask them, should we be having an audit every single year, or can we get away with a review, or what? I don't know the answer to that. And then the fiscal year change, that's the number that they gave us.
Is that for the first stage or the?
That's for stage 2. That's for doing the research on everything that has to be done.
Who's they?
Find a deal. Which I'm kind of not sure where that process is. Have you guys gotten surveys or anything, the board? They were gonna send each board member a survey for your opinion on the fiscal year change, whether you thought we needed to do it.
no revolving still, they sent it to somebody before, I don't know.
How long ago was this?
We were working on it, about a month, month and a half ago.
At least. Yeah, I should have had it by now.
Right.
All right.
Could they cash the check?
No, I haven't paid them anything.
Oh, okay.
And that's really it. You know, it runs somewhat lean unless there's a project. But as we get bigger, there's some more complicated things that I just would love a second opinion on.
How about you share you had some good news on the retirement? After you
Oh, I
threw a
didn't,
bomb
yeah, I
at
didn't go
us.
down there, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about this page. So the New York State retirement, a couple board meetings ago, I think I was crabbing about that, going up as much as it did. And we got the bill, I had the bills in front of me, I didn't look at what we budgeted. The police and fire one was like 70,000 below budget. I was like, very happy about that. And so, you know, I think it's probably a function of the retirements that we had this year, which were longer term tier 1 employees. And so we won't have tier 1, the tier 1 pension rate is higher. And so, and the pension rate is higher, and they make more money to begin with, and the pension rate is a function of how much they make. So they're off the payroll now, and so that number goes down. And I was like, okay. So I was you know, I'm never happy to see an officer leave because I know it's a lot of work for you guys back there to replace them. But, you know, I was happy to see that pension number go down.
I believe they were all in tier 2 police and fire.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, tier 1 ended 1973. You couldn't join after 73.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
I thought like you were tier 1.
No, and police and fire were tier 2.
Okay, all right. I stand corrected.
But the new officers hired are in tier 5 or 6, which is a significant decrease. To your point, it's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Social Security is just math based on these other sheets. Plug that in. Unemployment is unemployment. And then the bonds down there, those are the bonds that we've adopted. That first one, the statutory bond principal and interest, this is the last year we're paying on that. That is the first truck that we bought, I don't know how many years ago now, well, 3 years ago. It was a 3-year bond. So that's the first truck we got. I don't remember even what it is, truck bond, I think.
Was it, is it the bucket truck?
No, it's before that.
Oh, it was 8-1. Yeah, this is-
So that one will be off after this year. These next two are the bucket truck, the truck that's en route right now, and the police vehicles. So that's what this other one is here. And those payments will be with us. We can always pay these off early depending on how things go.
These are bond anticipation notes, so that down the road somewhere, we'll be rolling the balance into a bond after so many years.
If we want to do that, we could do it at any
Or
point in time.
you got it so that it pays off the,
We kind of had this weird thing happen with the bank this year where they didn't say anything about creating, turning it into a statutory installment bond. And actually, I don't think I would have anyway, because rates are going down. So this rate repriced, the one of these in here that was existing, the bucket truck, that was at like 4.75 and it repriced to 4.1. And I'm like, okay. So as long as the rates are going down, I think they're gonna continue to go down. So we can let them go down, and we will reprice each year down. And then, you know, if it ever looks like things are gonna change and the rates would go back up. Now, the other side of that equation, as I say that, is on the revenue side, the investment returns are going down too. So it's kind of a double whammy. But- So that's that. Any questions? And then the last of the I'll call them the shorter presentations, smaller presentations, is, although the chief will tell me that his presentation is short, is the mayor, and I want to let the rest of the board know, there's a couple of lines that I had assigned to the rest of the board. One was your contractual and one was your pay. I thought the mayor was going to tell you, and he thought I was going to tell you. And so neither of us told you. So we just made something up for you. Okay. And there's-
What are you talking about?
Okay.
The trustees contractual covers Nikon.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is.
But I didn't know if they have been sitting around for the last 9 months saying, when budget time comes, we gotta add this.
I don't know if any of the trustees have ever utilized their Nikon. Always bugged me that we get 7 magazines. Why could we just do one? But what?
All right. It's all you.
Well, we're not doing salaries, we're skipping that. Nikon is Nikon. The only thing that on here is changing is the mayor's contractual, because every year the audit for the courts comes in, it gets billed to the mayor. And it's never been in the budget that way, so this is kind of like a correction, getting it where it belongs.
And that's a New York State thing. The audit of the court is the responsibility of the mayor.
And I slipped the more money into celebrations.
I was gonna say that.
Because I don't trust Ruth. Probably buy more flags and give them to the Lions Club, I don't know. And, okay, and architectural review board, for some reason, had nothing under contractual. I don't know if they ever will spend anything, but if they need to spend something, since they're already in the budget, something for it.
Significant out of it. I figure that's how it's not like.
And I will say that I didn't touch anything with salaries, but after being at the Mayor's Association meeting, I think we should be planning on adding COLA to the base salaries of the base trustee salary. So we, in the board members, so we're talking an insignificant amount here, but that as opposed to waiting 5, 8 years and then say, oh, we need to adjust, and now it's a 40% increase and it looks like bad, just trying to keep it where it is so you're not going backwards. That's something I would propose when I get back into the numbers. I forgot about it. So that's me, I'm done.
All right. And now,
No offense, Mark,
Please.
but we cannot get ill due to the Parade of Lights coming up on Saturday, so we're gonna sit down here.
oh my gosh.
Are you actually, what do you got? Gee, why can't we sit down? Oh, well, that one since October.
You wouldn't have to do the parade of lights if you got sick.
Yeah, they were.
Can you blame that one?
Wait, is this where somebody's gonna walk, or is that?
I
pizza baker getting.
We talking
I know it
about, we
doesn't
talking
look
about,
physically
we talking about
unhealthy.
your mental health or?
No, mental health is fine.
Okay.
Okay, that's, I don't think that's
Just wanted to-
contagious, that's not contagious. That's hereditary.
If anybody wants to, there's a whole big pizza baker, if any of you guys want to
Public
grab
Works
some.
could be like right
I
after
am gonna,
the
cause
village
I
clerk.
didn't have lunch, cause I had late breakfast.
We can still listen while Mike talks.
Yeah, we're-
So, Ross, thank
Floor is
you.
yours.
So everyone should have our proposal. As always, we appreciate the opportunity to review it with you every year. Starting off with the sworn salaries line, obviously the village and the PBA are presently in negotiations. I know that actively working towards a proposed settlement there.
Zach Stratton, but I'm away right now. They agreed to it.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So, pending approval by the village board then, that proposed settlement will take effect. Lieutenant and I did budget, anticipating that settlement would likely occur with the items that they had agreed upon, based upon our conversations.
So is that reflected in this?
Yes, it is, Mayor. So the 26-27 proposal fully includes that settlement, including all parts of the contract. It may or may not be in there. Absolutely. Obviously, this will provide a significant contract as far as going out for 3 years to allow the village financial certainty going forward with its police labor force and allowing the new chief and his supervisory team to do some strategic planning, knowing that for the next 3 years, they won't have to tackle and concern themselves with labor negotiations, which since my tenure as chief, which is 17 and a half years, really has not occurred very many times due to a variety of reasons. I think it'll be a big help to Chief Lockwood as he moves forward with his leadership and administration and things as well. The mayor did ask me last week to gather some data and to propose a set percentage from top step sergeant to lieutenant and lieutenant to chief's pay. Those were not consistent. The sergeant to lieutenant was about 9.4 or so percent, and then it was about 14% from the lieutenant to the chief. That was the gap at present as we sit here right now. So Mike and I did some research with some neighboring municipalities, one of which is 150% gap between the top step sergeant and the chief. If you choose to do that, I won't be retiring. I couldn't in good conscience.
Not for nothing, but I don't think you need to put anything back up on the wall that I caught you doing yesterday, take
Yes.
it down.
Exactly. But what we did find was that if we budget an 11% gap between the top step sergeant and the lieutenant, and an 11% gap between the lieutenant and the chief, so the lieutenant's gap goes up some, the chief's gap goes down some, that is really the midline amongst the agencies that are, have a similar command structure as what we do, that have a sergeant and then a second in command. Some agencies are a little more, actually, all the ones that are there out there are all more than us as far as that gap between the senior sergeant and the chief goes. But we think the 11% is a fair number to both the individuals in those positions as well as the village for budgeting purposes. This is gonna do a few things. A, it solidifies what that gap is. So recruiting anyone into those positions, especially obviously someone leaving a sergeant position, they're leaving the protection of the PBA in the union, where they have a collective bargaining agreement. So, you know, they're gonna know for 3 years, this is what I'm getting for raises. We want to ensure that the people that we do recruit into those positions for chief and lieutenant are doing it for the right reasons, not because they're on some power trip, not because they have an axe to grind, but because we can attract the right people that we want to attract for those positions. I think it treats them fairly. Mike and I had extensive communications back and forth. We ran a whole different set of numbers, looking at what was the right gap, both from a fiscal point of view and from a responsibility point of view. We feel that that 11% number is right on point and puts us in the midline of other agencies across the board. Probably from chief down to senior sergeant, it's a little low, but still, it's a solid number. So that was done at the request of the mayor, and that's what we're proposing, which that number is included in here as well. So that encompasses all of those proposals.
So keep that in mind for the December 2nd meeting,
Yes.
for those of you that will be attending.
Yes. So, and as mentioned previously, due to retirements and things, even with the proposed contract settlement, the increase here to the overall salary line, 1.69, so just a little bit under 1.7%. So that's what that hit is to that sworn salaries line, which encompasses, obviously, we've got about $1.9 million budget, and that's almost 1.5, that line alone for the sworn salaries.
I just realized that yesterday Mike gave me new versions of his that were these updated numbers. I printed them off and I think they're sitting on the printer in there. So, might have to point out, I'll hand them out to people, but.
Okay, yeah, the new number, if it's different, it's, that top number, $1,486,439 and some change. In the percent change, it's at 1.69. That's the percent change. Next item on that page 2, communication salaries, that's Luann and Dick. They have some significant responsibilities for our organization that might not be realized to the layperson. All casework for our officers flows through that office, and they're responsible to ensure that every piece of paper, whether it's a yellow sticky note, whether it's a pink note that someone called in for a message, any item at all that's in that case folder must be scanned and sent to the district attorney's office to ensure that we meet the discovery regulations and law that were passed several years ago by the state legislature. That has to happen very rapidly in a very, very short period of time, as well as they're responsible for all digital evidence. Our body cameras, our in-car cameras, the cameras in the booking room, any interviews we might do in our interview room, any of that digital evidence and digital videos that need to get to the DA's office and get to the court, they're responsible for that as well. And if you remember, it wasn't just 3-4 years ago when this was starting out, we were actually budgeting potentially a third person, another part-time person in that office, because of Luann and Dick's capabilities there. And they've both been with us a number of years. They do a very good job for us. So we proposed a 4% salary increase for them. It says 3.91 because some of that is tied up in what we call some overtime, in case there is some overtime for them. It really isn't much, but occasionally if there's a major case or something that's happening and we need them to stay late, they'll do that. So that's.
Do they handle FOIL requests?
They do.
Through them?
Yeah, no, that's another thing that I have here. So, due to, if you remember, some very public, a couple tragedies that occurred involving our countywide child welfare system, that system was overhauled for the workers. I actually sit on a committee that the county executive appointed to dealing with that. What that's done is that has driven up the number of FOIL requests severalfold that we get on a daily basis specifically from Child Protective, looking for interactions that law enforcement have had with families in the area. There's really not a day that goes by that we probably don't get at least 2 or 3 of those, and they're responsible for handling those as well. Child Protective has, in some cases, depending on what the level of the offense or the allegations are, they have to make a determination within 24 hours. So it's imperative for our staff to pull those cases, review those, and get down to Child Protective the information they need so they can make an informed decision regarding the health and welfare of the children in the community. So they're responsible for that as well, yes. That was on my, thank you for bringing it up, but it was on my list of things. You must have looked at it before I did that. So tuition expense, that is a contractual item in the PBA contract. And I know Officer Sarah in the past was taking some classes. I think he's taking a little break on that now. Yeah, I don't think he's taking any right now. But I know he had been working towards a PhD actually in criminology through Liberty University, so he'll continue to do that. The overtime line, clearly we've had some staffing issues this year. Our present overtime line has had a number of budget transfers that the treasurer and I have worked together on, and Mark's been very helpful in those areas due to our staffing obviously not being where we would like it to be. Moving into next year's budget, we have a situation where for the first probably nearly 60% of the year, we'll still be down 2 people because they'll be in the police academy and the field training officer program, those 2 individuals. So that will have obviously a negative impact for about 58 to 60% of the year, which will include the summertime, June, July, and August, when clearly people do like to try and take some time off, which puts a strain on our staffing levels. It's my understanding next year for July 4th, potentially 2 days of celebrations with fireworks and things are being bandied about and discussed. So that will obviously bring a cost for public safety as well during that time period. We did propose about a 7% increase there. Not gonna lie to you, as Mark and I had some conversations, we really can't tell you what the exact number in that account really should be. I think if you add up all the days during my tenure as chief, Mike and I have joked about this, if we got to 365 total days during my 17-and-a-half-year tenure that we've been at full staff, I'm not sure which way you should put your money on that, the over-under, as it were, line. Right?
No, you're not wrong.
So, I'm certainly hoping that Chief Lockwood has a much better fortune than I've had during my tenure as far as staffing and being at full strength, for whatever, a variety of reasons, but.
Well, in fairness, since the pandemic, the challenges of being fully staffed have been greater.
Oh, without a doubt. As an example, we twice pulled the civil service list within the last few months, and each time there were less than 100 people on that list. This is a county with nearly 500,000 people, and there's less than 100 people on the civil service list for police officers. So, in every agency in the county, the city, the sheriffs, every town and village is pulling off that same list. Obviously, some of those candidates are simply not viable due to background, due to a host of other issues that might arise. And so you're really looking at a limited pool of individuals. We're fortunate, the word we have is our 2 individuals in the academy are 2 of the stronger performers there right now. So hopefully that continues, they continue to do a good job for us, and we'll do a good job for Mike and his team once they're out and joining us. But if there's a corresponding, raise coming to the PBA, at some point that has to be looked at and adjusted as well. So that's why that increase is there. And that's a number that, working with Mark moving forward, Chief Lockwood is obviously gonna have to work with him to ensure that, that number is mitigated as much as possible. We track every minute of overtime, literally every minute, through our planet schedule. There's not a minute of overtime that is worked and approved that doesn't go through a two-step process. It goes to the first line supervisor, and then it goes to the command officer, either Mike or myself, for review and approval. So there's not 1 minute of overtime that's worked that isn't absolutely necessary. Stop WI funds, those are funded solely through offender fines, through the Stop WI program. They don't have any impact at all to the village budget. Quite frankly, that $10,000 number has been in there, I think, since John Balone was the chief here. It shows 10,000 coming in from a revenue side and 10,000 going out from an expenditure side on us. But that number is whatever the fines come in, and they generally are running 2 to 3 quarters behind, because it takes the court system that long to collect the fines, everything to go to the state, and then the Stop WI coordinator to then disperse those to the municipalities in the county. Mark and I have had conversations about this, but that's how that works, and it has no impact at all to the village budget. Our equipment account, we have $20,000, 500 in there. 9,000 of that is for our tasers. Several years ago, the taser company, his Axon, went to a subscription-based program. You can't just buy tasers anymore. You have to kind of rent them. They're really the only game in town, so they know that they can get away with doing that. And other companies for other things, body cameras, other stuff have gone in often case the same way. And then we did also propose $11,500 for less lethal pepper ball or beanbag type rounds. I'll let incoming Chief Lockwood speak to that.
The pepper ball program, I spoke to you guys about when I was sitting here and interviewing for the position. And I even back then, I told you guys that I'd be putting it in the budget. Spoke with the chief about it. I think it's good to add to our inventory. Pepper ball, if you guys don't know, I know I explained it before, but you weren't on there. Basically, it's kind of like a paintball gun that has these little pepper pellets. And basically, with the taser, OC spray, anytime an officer has to utilize those, we're usually in close, quarters with that individual. Sometimes that's just the way it happens to be. But then oftentimes, someone might have to put themselves in a worse position to, use the taser or OC to be effective. Having the pepper ball, it gives us more distance and greater opportunity to use things to have a successful outcome. So.
Is it pepper involved?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the mix is, but it's like the cayenne pepper, instead of it being liquid or whatever for the spray, it's more of a pepper, and I believe it's more effective because with the powder, it just gets inhaled right away, and it's...
I didn't know if it was
What's the
like
shelf life?
pepper in baseball, where you just
It's
stick it
tested for what, a year? I mean, it's a pepper ball.
I don't know exactly what the shelf life would be. I believe it would probably be around the same. That's why we wouldn't just keep a stockpile of everything. I mean, obviously there would be recurrence of cost. Same thing with ammunition. Obviously we have to put the ammunition, we have to fire, for the guns. We wouldn't keep a stockpile, and then basically if we utilize something, then we'll just have to order it and then restock it. Obviously, if there's some that's supposed to be, due to expire or whatever, but those will go into training rounds then, so we can train our officers how to effectively use them.
Who volunteered to be the first one to get it?
I would do this.
You would let it?
I've been tased, I've been pepper sprayed. Yeah, I didn't like
Be a nice
I
way
didn't
to
like
bring
the
in the
taser.
new chief. Everybody gets to hit him with the.
Yeah, so, but it's not even really like the hit, like with paintball and everything. You're playing and then the paint will get on the person. This is really, you shoot really at their feet, you shoot above so it hits the wall, and then the pepper goes in the air or on the, so they can inhale it, kind of thing. I mean,
Use
there might
it
be
on a
some times
nasty
that you
dog
do.
if you had to.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely. And as an example, we have an individual who resides in the village. This person has traveled to New York City, been arrested there, bringing a machete into a place of worship down there. It's been banned from a number of places here. We have dealt with this individual on numerous occasions. It's in the 911 system to deal with this person. It's a 3-person call minimum, including notification to a supervisor. And when, you know, there's a sheriff's deputy who's trained in that and carries it in his vehicle, and he's responded with us and has had that at the ready to deploy because of the known propensity for obviously this individual suffers from some mental health crises, as well as they've been known to be armed. So for us, we're looking at a situation where individuals that are suffering some mental health issues or potentially you know, under the influence of some sort of intoxicant or narcotic, oftentimes there's a predisposition for violence there. And for our staff that's dealing with them, to have this tool available to them to engage them at a much greater distance buys more time. Just as another, to Mike's point, it's another tool in the toolbox for them to utilize to do everything possible to not have to use lethal force. And that's the ultimate goal here.
So is this one per squad car, or what
That-
about?
Yeah, that's what we were looking at, is that's the proposal, is the one for each car, because obviously, we'll have them mounted in there, but if you don't put them in every car, the average, or anytime that you're gonna do it, Murphy's Law, that's not gonna be the car that has the unit on, you know? So we would like just to mount them in the back and have them ready. I believe it's gonna save in the long run, use of force, you know, people getting hurt, going hands-on with somebody. Just even the threat of having it, you know, saying that you're gonna send pepper ball down their way and everything, can resolve the situation a lot quicker.
Much like a taser, having the taser, where if people see that taser come out, an officer indicating taser, taser, taser,
And they don't
want to get tased, and they'll be like, don't tase me, and, you know, become compliant. It's another method of that. So, our supplies line, which covers a whole host of items, fuel maintenance of the building, as well as vehicle maintenance and equipment maintenance, office supplies, uniforms, duty equipment, training, telephone, service contracts, all those types of things are included in that supplies line. Obviously, if you look at that line, it's running, if not, I think it's over budget at the moment, not over what we budgeted, but it's over the percentage of the year we're at. We're doing everything we can to conserve that number. But the cost of things have gone up with all those things that I've just described to you. So we are proposing nearly 5.5% increase there in that line, just due to the rising cost of things. Projects is $2,500, that's to try and match any grant that we might have, if there's some ancillary costs that we need to pull out of there. We do actively try and obtain grants whenever we can. This year we were successful, we got $100,000 for 2 vehicles. We just had $50,000 or so for less lethal de-escalation simulator that came here a couple weeks ago. We set it up in here and got the training on that. I think we're looking to set that up in a cold storage, but through further talks with Taryn, down the road, some strategic planning long-term, maybe some other alternatives for that. So that is our budget. I would point out that if you look at what we have here, about nearly 90.5%, 90.4% of this budget are direct personnel costs, whether they're sworn salaries for our officers or communication staff, the overtime, stop WI, you add all that up, and it's less than really 10%. And I didn't even add in the tuition expenses on that, which is contractual, and things. So it's really less than 10% of the overall police budget that, you know, incoming Chief Lockwood and I are really proposing and to talk about here. The rest is pretty much determined by you through a salary increase and then contractual negotiations.
Can I ask one question?
Absolutely.
On the insurance opt-out,
Yes.
that's a big jump. Is that only accounting for, and I know it's because of, in the new contract, is that only accounting for the people who are currently taking the opt-out?
Yes,
That's
that's
not
the-
any
It's not anyone else,
anticipation
it's
of-
the
okay.
list that the village clerk gave me.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, thank
And
you.
then, so if you go to that page, which 3120-1, if you look at that page, if you add these numbers up on the 25-26 budget line, and then the 26-27 amount, if you added those all up, they don't add up to that number at the bottom. But let me explain why. We have a chief, we know who that person's gonna be. We don't know who the lieutenant's gonna be. We don't know who the sergeant two, our top step sergeant's gonna be, and we don't know who the two sergeant ones are gonna be, because promotions are gonna occur. So what I did is then, I included all those in the calculations, but our two most senior officers who took the test, sergeant's test and passed it, are Aurora Halsey and Dylan Hardesty. I did not add those two salaries in, because I already accounted for them up in the sergeant's line. So I'm not saying they're going to be the people, what I'm saying is that they're the two most senior, so I plugged them into that value there. I did the same thing with the lieutenant's position. Chrissy Allen is the senior person, I plugged her in for her salary and longevity for the lieutenant's line. In the event that all the senior people are promoted, that way there was adequate funds budgeted. If someone else is promoted to any of those three positions, then there's extra funds, excess funds, not a great deal, but a little bit in there. But if I didn't do it that way, then potentially this line would be short.
Zach tested for sergeant too.
He did, but he's not more senior than Aurora or Dylan.
Oh, I got you.
I only took.
So who is eligible for the promotion?
So, the three people that passed the examination are Aurora, Dylan, and Zach. And then Jason and Gwen and Chrissy Allen are both they passed the lieutenant's test, and they're eligible. So I just was consistent, I picked the senior people, plugged them for, not by name, but by salary up there, so that way, if we had to add for longevity and things, I felt to budget conservative made more sense.
Yeah, because I knew something was up when the years of service looked out of line, because
Yes, absolutely.
I did.
And if you count it up, you're counting 15 spots, not 13 that should be there.
Might seem like you're 29 years, but not yet, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's got, you got.
I know it's just a wash. Do you have a guess annually how you average on the DWI thing? Whether it's 5 or 15, I mean, I know this budget number.
So it depends on, every quarter is different, because it depends on how much fine money they collected at that
So it's
time.
not necessarily you setting up a special command to do a DWI checks. This is just
So we don't,
day-to-day stuff.
say that again?
So this is just routine, day-to-day officer
No, it's
staffing
both,
people?
it's both. So through the stop WI funding that we get, let's say we have 2 people working 3 to 11 on Friday night. We'll put out for overtime to work from any time between 7 at night and 3 in the morning, stop WI patrol. So another officer, Zach, often does this, to your point, comes in and works just stop WI patrol. So his job is to simply look for aggressive driving and traffic violations that are indicative of impaired driving. Weaving, not stopping at a stop sign, not having the headlights on, all those types of behaviors that we're aware of. Any DWI arrest at all counts towards our total and then, we get that funding back to us. I would say we're probably taking in around 10, would that be an accurate mark? That we're bringing in around 10 a year?
Yeah, it's like, we get paid quarterly, so
Yep.
it's in the mid-2000 range, it varies, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's 10,000 a year.
Yeah, probably, if we said 9 or 10, I don't think we're too far off every year. And it just really goes right back to salaries, or if we need to buy some equipment, like some new alpha sensors, and those are the small alcohol sensing devices that we can carry in the patrol cars. I would email the Barry Weiss, the Stop DWI coordinator, and say, Barry, we're looking to buy 2 of these. He would say, during my tenure, he's never said no. He said, yep, go ahead, chief. We then purchase it, pay for it out of Stop DWI.
Kind of early in the year, I think it was this year, you were reporting how many DWI stops our department, 2 of your officers were.
Yeah, that was a couple of years, yeah. We've had, over the last 2 or 3 years, Zach, McHale, and Joe Serra have been recognized on a statewide basis for their DWI performance. So, looking at the stats recently, we're doing well comparatively to other agencies, especially the
I'm not
village.
sure that's good or bad.
Well,
That means communities
well,
are out on the road.
yeah, that means they are there, but it also means that our officers are actively engaged in, vehicular traffic, vehicle safety.
Yep.
And clearly that's been an issue in our community, and we've, had committees set up to help keep people safe that are walking and bicycling in the community. And anything we can do to keep impaired drivers off the road is beneficial.
They used to say, don't drive drunk in Liverpool, now they say, don't drive drunk in Wallace.
You still shouldn't do it in Liverpool, because that's they've
Don't
obviously
drive
got,
drunk anywhere.
they've got a couple people that are aggressively enforcing those laws. But, so that's our budget, and I don't know if there's any other questions. Did I miss anything? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are you gonna fill the 3 sergeant positions right away?
I would defer to incoming Chief Lockwood for that.
So,
Obviously, one of those positions will remain, I don't mean to cut you off. Sergeant Gwynn or Sergeant Allen will move up to lieutenant. So one of them will still remain in the sergeant spot. So really, there'll just be 2 spots.
so for right now, nothing concrete, but I believe I'm gonna look at promoting 1 sergeant for now. I would tailor it anyways, because they have to do a short FTO program, and I wouldn't want to take 2 people off the road with the sergeants, that create massive overtime. So I was gonna structure it either way, but depending on speaking with the PBA, if they change or wanting to change their schedule to 12-hour days, something that we'll look into. For right now, if they go to 12-hour days, 3 supervisors doesn't make sense on that schedule. So it'd either be 2 supervisors or 4 supervisors. So that's something we're gonna look at. But for right now, the plan is promoting somebody to lieutenant in January, probably keeping them in their position while they transition the new sergeant, appoint the new sergeant, and then when that time comes through, we'll figure out if there is gonna be a change in the schedule, if there's not gonna be a change in the schedule, if they're still open to it or want it, and then we'll determine what's gonna be the 3rd supervisor.
Also, if someone's promoted, they have to go to a 3-week first-line supervisor school that New York State mandates. So, within a year. So we're gonna lose them 3 weeks. So that has to occur. So that's also a balancing act that he's gonna have to, concern himself with.
How often is that school offered?
It's not.
Yeah,
So they do, I just saw one, it's out of town. I'm gonna be checking with some of the other departments. It was for a long time that we were running our own through other agencies, Solvay PD, Camillus PD. They would run through their master instructors, a course for that. I don't know if it got run last year.
It did,
Okay.
I teach at that, and it did.
So then, it's been pretty regularly, so we're hoping to have it local here, but I'll talk with them and show that we have an interest to send them somebody and see if we can get that going, if they have any plans to do it in the fall or whatever. Do you remember when that ran?
I thought it was the spring this past year,
Okay.
because I couldn't be there this year for the critical incident management piece of it. Because it conflicted with something that another commitment I had.
But yeah, so otherwise, but that's the reason they started running their schools, because it wasn't being offered, as a requirement. at
I
least
just didn't
locally.
know if it's only offered, only available once per year, and you're both, wherever you're.
Right, you'll have a year to do it, and then hopefully, even if we miss this transition, they could be a supervisor for a year, and then go to that class, next time around.
Okay, just wondering,
Yeah,
with
if
the
there's
timing,
nothing-
if you would end up sending
Yeah,
2 hires
It's a
or two.
possibility, you might end
The
up
same
sending 2.
3-week period, just because that's the
You could,
only
and
opportunity.
if I can avoid it, that would probably be better, but, between that and the FTO, that will cause a lot of holes in the
Yeah.
schedule.
How do you pay for that in school? How does that get paid for?
So generally, if it's local through, and utilizing local instructors, the cost is very minimal, if there's any cost at all. I'm talking less than $200.
Yeah, usually for paper records and,
Yeah.
whatever else, but usually departments will all send instructors.
So those funds would just come out of our regular supplies account, which includes training.
But if you have to send it, that's the local one. If we run into that problem, we have to send somebody away, obviously then you have lodging costs, and then depending on who's running the academy, it could be costly.
I have no more questions.
I think we're moving January.
I've heard a rumor that Taryn wants 90 minutes, so.
I don't think we'll need 90 minutes.
89.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
You guys want to take anybody need a quick break or anything, or?
Yeah, if we could take a break, then we could just get this set up.
Okay.
I would like to just run over to Kenny and get that description.
No, I think I'm good. I'll study those. Oh, yeah.
So in your packet, there's 39 accounts I'm responsible for as superintendent of public works. The first one for codes personnel, we'll discuss that at a later time.
Is he expecting to record the rest of this meeting? Or is he not?
You're gonna,
Oh, yes? Oh, sorry.
He wanted the back of your head. He's tired of looking at your face, Nate.
He's focusing on that developing bald spot.
This sucks. Right here. My daughter's noticing it more and more.
Guys like me have no sympathy
Oh,
for
that's
you.
not, I know. You want to compare? I know. That's really the only thing I got going for me.
You've gone far
let's
longer than
see.
I was able.
Okay.
We're on 3620.2, codes activities. That one, there's a reduction of $1,000 on that account. For 3620.4, in the codes, a reduction of $660.
Well, for what? What is cell phone?
And that, because currently that's fallen under highway, so I took that out. On 3620.43, I've been in contact with New York State Department of State. They are developing and will launch in 2026 a new department that's not just compliance, like the bad cop kind of compliance. They're having another arm of the codes where you have training issues or questions that you need asked. They'll actually send somebody on site who's a certified code enforcement officer with Department of State and help you through those issues. So, long story short, we can reduce, and I just found out about that on Friday, and we're on the docket to be one of their first test sites. So I just found out we can reduce the consultant fee, remove that, so we can take out $2,500 from that budget line. And then leave the $2,500 in for training.
Draw a line through that.
Before you move on to the next section,
Sure.
I walked in just as you were talking about why you didn't need cell phone in the budget line.
Yep. But that's currently coming out, it's a group plan, and that's currently getting paid for out of the highway fund.
Okay, so, if you added the 2 new building safety inspectors,
You
you
didn't
would.
go there.
Yeah, we're not there.
Okay,
You didn't miss anything.
okay, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't thinking that, okay. Go ahead.
Skipping over 5010.1, then moving to 5010.2, superintendent equipment. No ask for 2026, that's a reduction of $10,000. 5010.4.
It's trying that direction.
These expenses are for the office of the superintendent. It covers software, paper supplies, training, contractual expenses. Again, drafting services and printing services we're covering in-house. With my engineering background, a lot of those fees I can cover through myself. There is an increase of roughly $1,000. Unfortunately, the cost of licensing for all of your engineering software is a license-based, and every year it goes up significantly. So that increase on that budget line is you're seeing from the AutoCAD Civil 3D subscription and Adobe. And ArcGIS as well, excuse me. For the next budget item, 5010.43, there are no proposed engineering, village engineer projects. Next budget line is highway personnel. We can skip over that. Skip over the next one as well. It's highway overtime. Move to 5110.2, highway equipment. Under my predecessor, there was approval for a J-Pro. That's a scanning tool for all the highway vehicles. It does heavy equipment, it does all our trucks. So again, just like anything else, there is a reoccurring subscription fee to that. So you see that there is a $2,500 subscription fee for that. Second item down, $7,500 for a small vehicle lift adapter. What that is in layman's terms is a way to get underneath to service our small equipment, all of our zero turns, our gator, things of all our lawnmowers. Currently what we're doing is using chain falls. And it's not the safest thing to do, chain falls and kind of
Dad's garage.
Yeah, it kind of is. You know, my big thing with being superintendent is safety. I don't want anybody to go home hurt. And so to help kind of close that loop, I asked my mechanic to find something that would better suit servicing those vehicles. As you are well aware, we have quite a bit of parks and trails that we service quite a bit every year of our zero turns. During the summer, I think Nate's every day's got one in there working on them. So the $7,500 would be it's an adapter to go on our current lift. You drive the zero turn or whatever small vehicle it is, and then you can actually use the lift to pick that up. The next item down is $500 for light trucks. For whatever reason, I still can't get an answer. The new police vehicles and some of the Mopar vehicles do not show up in the Scan Pro for whatever reason. Or excuse me, the J Pro. So that $500 is to get a light vehicle scan tool. All of our, and I think you're aware, but I'll just reiterate, all of our servicing now is done in-house. We don't send anything out. For an example, our older brush truck just went down. It needed an engine rebuild. And our mechanic was able to rip the engine apart, rebuild the engine on site, saving us thousands of dollars. We have a very capable mechanic, and so most of these, all of these items are to further his endeavors. And then the last item, $4,500, is a compressor. That's for a mobile compressor. Nate's been equipped to have, he has it's shared between everybody else, but it is designated to the mechanic. He has a mobile mechanic truck now. That compressor would be for a compressor so that he can fix tires out on the road. We did have 3 times last year where tires blew, dump truck tires blew, and we had to haul the big compressor out. Turned into a huge thing that involved overtime and multiple personnel. This way, having a mobile compressor in the back of a truck is just sending the mechanic out. He can change the tire on the fly.
Can't just use a little bicycle?
No, I wish you could. Yeah.
100 plus PSI tires now.
Do the,
Plugs into
are they
the
split
serial.
rims? Do we have split rims on our trucks?
Yes.
Do you have some kind of protection thing where when you're inflating out in the field, you know, get your head, if that fails, not blown off?
Oh, they won't blow off.
My uncle
Hey,
used to work for General Tire, yeah, it had it happen on the thruway.
No, they're your normal tire on the rim. You just
But it's not a split, they are split rims?
the dualies,
It's 2 separate tires. Right.
two separate tires.
No, it's the rim, the wheel that's on.
Oh
Split
no,
rim is.
no, they're one solid rim.
Okay.
But there's multiple tires in the back end of these trucks, and when one goes flat, and you got to pull one off to get to the other, kind of thing. When Nate could do this out on the road.
I was
With the
only worried if you had
equipment,
split rims.
Oh
If
no,
there was safety,
Yeah.
something going along with the compressor.
Everything is one solid rim.
Blow it up behind one of the.
5110.4, Highway Department expenses. This covers all of our expenses related to highway as far as culvert pipe, heating of the highway facility, signs, everything pretty much falls under that line item. I can go through it line by line. The footwear, clothing, those are increases based on the new DPW contract. Let's see where we got an increase. Office supplies, I've increased that by $500. As some of you are aware, I come to our committee meetings with lots of paperwork. We are using we are using an increase in paper. The telephone fee, there's an increase in that. That's due to internet between some of the parks as well. There's a shared cost there. As you are aware, we do have internet service. We have security cameras in our parks, and that's some of that internet fee. Street lights inspections and repairs. Let's see. That is 3,000, going from $1,000 to $3,000. That's more in line with what we've actually spent this year. There's been quite a few of the street lights that we've had to replace. Chaucer Circle, we had 2 poles we had to replace. So that's to bring us more in line with what we're currently spending. Let's see here. Moving down to tools, hand tools is a $500 increase. That's to replace a lot of the broken tools that are currently at Highway. We are currently replacing those, but there are still quite a few that need to be replaced. Miscellaneous hardware, there's an increase by $100. That's just to get more bolts and stuff like that for signage. We're currently going through and replacing signs. We had a big sign order early in the fall. Gasoline and diesel, there's an increase on those lines just to be more in line with the current fuel prices. Let's see. Then we'll just skip down, see where's the next increase. Hot patching. Yep. That's with the increased petroleum prices. That's to cover that expense. Cold patch as well, even though it's not warm, it is all petroleum product, it's just a different emulsification. I believe I threw a 10% increase at that. Equipment rental. This year, we've rented quite a bit of equipment. We rented an excavator a couple of times, we rented a lift a couple of times. Part of that, large part, I'd say all of that is to do the tasks that are assigned to us, but it's also testing out pieces of equipment as well. Instead of just buying a piece of equipment and hoping it works, I'm a firm believer in testing it out first. So that's where that increase is.
What's it mean, can be reduced if sewer equipment approved?
When I get to that,
Okay. I thought you were on that line.
yeah, we can. So that would be renting an excavator again. We rented it quite a bit this year. We can, if we get I do have an excavator.
If we buy you an excavator.
Yes, if we do have an excavator, then we could reduce that back down to the $1,000.
As well as the different attachments that come with it, that make it multi-purpose, multifunctional between the highway and the water
So
department.
this is your Christmas list.
Well, I mean,
It's month early, but if you want it.
It's on here.
Yeah, but it's based on the sewer fund.
the big increase you'll see is salt. The salt went up significantly, about 20%. The reason for that, the negotiated prices through New York State and Onondaga County came up massively. It was well over, it's 20%. And that's just kind of the market, that's just the price it is. To give you an idea, we were paying $62 a ton last year, and now it's up to over $78 a ton. All right, moving down, next increase. That's the same. And the other lines on here are the same as the previous years.
Good, now we go back to bigger print.
5110.41. I've been in contact with representatives from DOT. They don't, it's not up to them obviously, but they don't foresee any increase in the CHIPS funding for the 2026 year. As you know, last year we focused on Baldwin Hill area and Aspen Springs, paving and sealing those. This year we're focusing on Chaucer Circle, Knight Circle, Riffs Drive. They happen to be about the same lane miles as what we did this current year. So I'm proposing those are the streets that we would pave at the same cost.
I'm trying to picture it in my head. Riffs Drive is
Riffs Drive's on the
that's
south side. Yeah.
McCarrytown, okay. I knew Chaucer and Knight worked together.
Just so you
They're
know
on the same
also,
lane.
because this is CHIPS funds, this number is equally offset on the revenue side by CHIPS. I call it a grant, whatever.
So there's 100% chips?
Yes.
What about the money?
Well, no,
That's
so
another page?
for a couple of years, we've divided the paving up to what's covered by CHIPS and that's just apples and apples. We get this much over here, we spend that much over there, we allocate that, and the rest is the village. And Terren's gonna talk about that.
So yeah, thank you, Mark. That's a good point. The CHIPS funding, that comes from the state, and that's a grant that we get every year. Every community gets it.
Aid, whatever you want to call
Aid,
it.
sure. On the next page, 5110.42, this is the village share. So this would be in addition to the CHIPS funding.
And this is directly on our budget.
Yes. Typically, it's $100,000. What I'm proposing, $100,000 for micropaving. On the south side, probably, I have not nailed down those streets yet. But you will see an additional $35,000. I've been working in conjunction with the police department. They would like to see centerline striping on the streets that are included, Canton, Downer, Smoky, Oneida Street, and Tappan Street. I got one quote for $35,000 to do that. Upon actually looking at that more closely, I saw that they included fog line as well. So that $35,000 is high, is what I'm getting at. If we just did center line paving, we could probably cut that down to closer to $20,000. But that would be having a third-party company come in, like Finger Lakes, striping, and they have a big striping truck, and they just do a center line stripe. The police department is asking for that, is for DWI enforcement. They need a, I guess, a metric to judge on weaving, and that's what that center line does.
I would think the fog line would be beneficial on Smoky Hollow and Canton.
We could put a fog line there too.
Tappan are too narrow. As anybody who walks along the edge of the road, people tend to drive
Sure.
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big proponent of more street markings, pavement markings, the better. It is a safety device, and it does more clearly define.
Helps people know where to put their leaves.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we did want to have those fog lines, we're probably closer to that 35,000.
I don't think those Downer and Tappan are wide enough.
No, I
to
wouldn't
do
put
that.
them there.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're talking about East Oneida or both of them?
Both of them, yeah. 5110.43, I'm requesting no funding for this account, so a reduction of $30,000. And I'll get to it in the next, when we get to talk to sewer. $5110.5, building expenses. There's always repairs going on at Highway. It's an old building. It was built in 1963. We have the original boiler. So there's always expenses going on. You'll see the increase on the first line item to $2,000 to $5,000. On our permanent audit, we got hit for the break room floor. Has old asbestos tile in it. It's uneven. So what we do is, if a tile breaks, we remove it. Currently, the fix would be to go over that tile, go over that flooring, pour a floor leveler, and then put a new floor on top of it, and that's what we're proposing. Boiler maintenance, again, it's an older boiler. There's only one company around that can service that boiler, and those costs are increasing. Electricity and gas.
What fuels it use? Gas?
Yeah, you use the natural gas.
State have any plan where they'd like to help fund?
I'm currently looking into that. I'm waiting for the next round of NYSERDA grants to come out, because I would, truthfully, I think Highway, the garage is a great candidate for a geothermal unit. And we have the land to do it, so I'm waiting for the next round of grants, and I'd like to put that project together and then replace all that stuff out up there. I think that would be fantastic. But currently, for this budget year, we got what we got.
Yeah.
Electric and heat, I'm more aligning them with, you know, I know there was a little bit of shortfall with our previous budget with the National Grid billing. And we're gonna get an increase from our friends at the Public Service Commission. So that's what those increases are. And they have a rear door replacement. Our rear door that's the employee entrance at Highway is completely rotted out. And I got a quote from a local vendor, and it's about a $4,000 replacement to replace that door. Next item, since it's seasonals, should we talk parks personnel? For 7110.1?
If you all want to.
Yeah, I'll speak to it. The big change you'll see on this is a horticulturist. Last year's rate was $18.41, and we didn't have somebody to fill that role. I'm proposing we increase it to $24.50 and get somebody in that actually that's passionate about the work, that wants to do the work. As you're aware, we have a lot of flower beds in the village, and you know, I've been here, it's my 13th month. Didn't quite realize what I was getting myself into, so it was it was triaging this year. So I think next year we did an okay job. There's always room for improvement. I know a lot of the facade work down at Baldwin's Square in front of the businesses, that needs a lot of work. And we didn't get to it this year. We did fix up the square. Maintaining it was a challenge. There are 10 employees between all three departments, and it was challenging. And I think having a seasonal in that position, and just getting somebody to fill that position is going to be challenging in itself, but having that increased rate will attract the right person.
But is that, I've been bugging Tim as I walk around all summer, is a person adequate, or do you need a person and they need somebody working with them physically?
So with our current, I think so, because we're currently, let's see here, we have 2 people right now that are basically just mowing. We've divided tasks amongst highway, but mainly water, and a lot of the mowing, I would say a third of the mowing activities have been taken away from the seasonals and fallen on water, mainly water. When water's up, like cleaning the filters up at Donewell, you know, there's some downtime there, so they'll hop on a zero turn and mow. Same at Canton Street. So a lot of the downtime when it's kind of just sit and wait, they've been given a mower, and then they'll do the mowing. So a lot of that, I guess what I'm getting at is some of the seasonal time has been freed up.
Okay.
And so we do have a third seasonal that could help augment that.
Did you give John any more hours as per the garden club?
I did not, and I've heard that John's not coming back too.
That's what the garden club said.
Yeah, so.
Don't know if John said that.
John, the water?
Yeah, doing the water.
Water.
Yeah.
I could ask him if I see him walking by again. He walks by my house a lot.
Personally,
No, I don't know why he's opted not to come back. No, I don't.
I don't think it's that.
I think he likes doing it.
I think, he told me he's pretty busy with his grandkids, so. Parks equipment, 7110.2. I'm proposing to replace the John Deere Gator. That John Deere Gator that we currently have is what we use to water all the pots that are placed around by our crews, but the Lady Garden Clubs fill up. So that would be all the stationary pots and the hanging plants. That current gator is over 25 years old. It was down for 2 weeks this summer. So I think that's some of the heartache you're hearing from the Ladies Garden Club. So I'm proposing we replace that gator, and then those issues won't arise next year.
Is this another gas-powered 6x4?
Yeah, I would just replace it just how it is. That seems to work fine.
I saw it be like, they got some electric ones now. I don't know how they work.
Yeah, they're double the price.
Okay, well, I was just saying if they weren't,
Yes.
running downtown might be better than not be kicking out
Sure.
fumes.
Yep.
Okay.
Parks Department expenses, 7110.4. Again, increase due to, National Grid prices going up. Equipment repairs has gone down. Fence repairs, that's gonna go up. There's quite a few fence, as we've been pulling off the greenery, shrubbery on the fences, we've noticed that there's a lot of room for repair, and that's that increase. Park tree maintenance, there was zero budget item last year. Community Park in particular needs a lot of work walking through those trails. And the $5,000, that's mainly to rent equipment to get up and to trim those trees and take down the foliage. We have a lot of.
Is this separate from the tree budget?
It is, yep.
Is there a reason why you pull it out of the tree budget? Did you reduce the tree budget?
I kept the tree budget the same. Amphitheater maintenance, the amphitheater needs quite a bit of work. We have electrical upgrades that need to happen. We noticed that with the 95X concert that we had at Paper Mill Island. And I don't know if everybody knows, but there is currently an RFP out for a new concert promotion. That closes second week in December. So there will be a lot, and there's interest on that. So I do believe we'll have a promoter for the island, and we will need to start sinking some money into the Paper Mill Island and getting that up to snuff. For example, all the electrical outlets that feed that main power box, where the vendors plug in for like beer and stuff like that, those are all rotted out. They need to be replaced. Jeff is currently working on that. Told him to hold off, wait till we get some more money, because that stuff tends to be expensive. But so that's where those costs are. We do have a leaking roof at Paper Mill Island at the amphitheater. And then the normal, hopefully we don't have it like we did this year, but any damage done to the bathrooms and stuff like that through vandals, that comes out of that fund as well.
Did we use all the money that we had set aside for Paper Mill Island?
No,
That's
That was a side conversation over here.
Yeah, amphitheater maintenance fund.
It wasn't a lot, but it was something, it was like 20 grand.
There's enough.
I feel like there's 60 or 70,000. I can't remember. And then there's in lieu of parks,
There's not.
which has got like 150 grand in it, but that is for new parks equipment and new capital projects in the parks. I just looked it up, because trust me, I was listening to Taryn and going,
Who defined the move parks fund that way?
you guys did.
As new stuff?
Steve D'Arcangelo, in his memo to the Public Works Committee in March 1st of
1890?
In lieu of Parks Reserve, this is a type capital reserve. Purpose of the fund is to accumulate monies to finance purchase of new equipment and to construct new structures. within existing
Okay,
parks.
and I think that's just a memo from
And-
Steve, and that's not a board adopted anything.
Well, I'll go back and find the board resolution that you passed, but it probably says passed a resolution about this memo.
I bet it never got there.
So,
Well, define new. Replacing something old is new.
well, so to the gator, yeah, but
Replacing something old is new. Replacing electrical box with new. All's got new in it. I think it all sounds good to me.
those are Bob questions.
Mulch, between when I developed this and now, we actually had our tub grinder come up. As some of you are aware, we cleared the lot next to DPW, and that's where all of our spoils are going. So all of the mulch, all of our leaf pickup, any spoils from water main work, sewer work, goes up to highway now. And where I'm headed with that is, there were quite a few logs that needed to be cleared. We set those aside, and when the tub grinder was there, I had them grind those up separately. So we have a ton of mulch now. So I don't need the $8,000 in mulch. We could probably cut that back down to $2,000. I think that would be more than sufficient. Second line, so I kept the topsoil, topsoil fertilizer seed the same. That's mainly to cover grass seed and hydro seeding. Shrubs and plants, I reduced that. Herbicide treatment, I kicked that up to $3,000. I would like to get a company back in here to treat the sidewalks. Do that again next year, and that's that increase. And then the other two items are the same. Parks projects. Last year, we had $35,000 for parks projects. That was rehabbing the community park pedestrian bridge, the ADA walk for the southeast trail. It's currently underway. It's held up in Seeker, and then the changes down to Baldwin Canal Square, the tree, the new compass. This year I'm proposing, and it is a parks project, but I'm being optimistic that we will offload the sewer to wet. And so I'm hoping that the sewer funds will cover this project. So a security systems upgrade to our parks. I've been working in conjunction with the police department. I guess we could get into that now. As some of you are aware, we did have quite a few vandals down at Mercer Park this year and Paper Mill Island. A company reached out to me and they offered us test security equipment called Verkada. And then we also did have cameras that we just ordered off of Amazon. They're kind of like a, for lack of a better term, like a peel and stick kind of thing. They're not great. But they're more of a visible deterrent as far as actually picking up video. They didn't do the best of job. However, the Verkada cameras that we got did a phenomenal job. And there's certain AI tools that are built into them that we were able to leverage between the seasonal that I had. Heard some rumors at Baker that this certain individual was the one perpetrating the acts at Paper Mill Island. So I knew, so we had, it happened over multiple weeks, and we obviously knew when it happened. So I was able to go back in the camera footage and find this individual, and then select that individual, and then through the AI, it tracked that individual. And that individual was there every time that the place was vandalized, and that's how we were able to finally capture the person, and then the vandalism stopped. So what I'm proposing for the next year.
Did you involve the police, or did you take care of the?
No, this is,
Took them out
this
back of
is,
DPW.
no, this is working hand in hand with the police. Yeah, this is working hand in hand with the police.
Hold the camera.
So since it worked out so good, I'm proposing expanding that to our parks and other areas in the village. Other projects, the Little League door replacement. Again, they have a rotted out door that needs to be replaced on our building that we're responsible for the maintenance building. And then I have the projects in here for the community development grant and the Blue Way Greenway grant. Those will be balanced out as reimbursements. There's a village share. So the village share on the community development grant would be $13,630, being reimbursed $50,000 from Onondaga County. And the Blue Way Greenway grant would be reimbursed $56,629, and the village share would be $14,155. And then I'll show you what those projects are. I also put in the trail network signage. I know that's been a hot topic. $5,000 for that. And the last thing, we're currently doing right now, the dock decking rehabilitation. All of our docking is, what, 20 plus years old?
More than that.
And I worked with the guys this past fall to remove them, and they are in rough shape. They're a tripping hazard. You have boards that are gnarled and twisted. So currently what they're doing now is stripping those boards off, and we're ripping the boards down and using them for plow route stakes, plant stakes. We're reusing the wood, but going for the next year, we will need to replace that with new pressure treated wood. So I've priced it out at $10,000 to resurface all of those boards. The superstructure of the dock is fine itself. That is not rusted. It's just anything that was exposed to the elements. That's the issue.
You don't have anything in here, maybe it comes up later, about the pavement in Mercer Park? Is that somewhere in your budget?
I didn't address it this year because I'm hoping that for the next community development grant to put it into that.
Okay.
Is that the same idea for the potential for bathrooms over along the coder's wall?
Yeah, I finally got that quote back.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to go and put a community development grant together for that as well. I know we talked about those smart bathrooms. I got a quote back, $383,000. So that's crazy.
I just went down and turned the
For
ceiling
one,
wall.
it's one
Just
bathroom.
have to sit
Yeah.
there and walk.
Plant more trees.
Yeah.
Terrence, since that's on the state, like, canal over there, would the state, like, come up with a grant for us?
Yeah, and possibly through state parks, there's a lot of grants for that. And we could partner with canals or something like
Unfortunately,
that.
all that stuff goes through consolidated funding.
Any other locks have
Real narrow
bathrooms?
deadlines. And you
What's
have
that?
to-
Do you know that other locks that have bathrooms?
I don't. Anecdotally, when I was at High Dam with the city of Oswego, I used to walk across the top of the dam and talk to the boaters coming through. And most of them, the big boats would have docked in Beeville for the night because they had bathrooms. So I don't know of any other,
Water in there.
you know, other than docking maybe at Phoenix and then using
Water right next to it.
a restaurant bathroom, but no,
In Phoenix?
possibly, yeah. Well, that's the
Not too many
only,
restaurants.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot, that lock,
There's a distillery.
yeah, there's the distillery, all right?
What's the proposal for the bathrooms, to put it on that slice of
By the
property that we have?
visitor center?
Goes off
Yeah, it'd be
the
by the
campus?
visitor center,
That's
that,
not
yeah,
property we own.
Be great to have them on that side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ideally,
It's so clean, that's some weird.
Talk with Jeff, see if he wants to.
Oh, Jeff's down with that.
Because I'm sure that he gets a lot of people going in and out of his bathroom.
oh, you're saying that the Angry Garlic?
Yeah, at the smokehouse, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would love a bathroom over there and then be able to close the bathrooms off over at Paper Mill Island.
Yeah.
And that would stop a lot of, other activities going on there. Then moving on to 7110.5.
Sorry, before we move on,
Yep.
I can't remember if you said it or not. For the security system, I know you're thinking it would come out of sewer funds, but do you have an estimated price on that?
I do. It's I was gonna jump to it when we get. It's 135,000. And then for our community development projects, up on the screen, you see over to the left. That is putting a new storm structure in our Meadow Street parking area. Currently, Meadow Street is gravel. So it would be putting in a storm system to collect the runoff and send it down to Meadow Street. There's a catch basin right there, as you can see in the top left. And then also putting it in green there in the top right, that would be the sidewalk that's from this current funding year. To the right is the Meadow Street, the top part of Meadow Street. That's the Blue Way, Greenway grant. That's extending the current paved walkway that goes to Community Park and having a paved walkway wrap around the canal wall with lighting, benches, trash cans, and then connecting to a sidewalk to get to Water Street and kind of how I envision that this is kind of overflow parking for Paper Mill Island. I know one of the struggles for Paper Mill Island is parking, and having something paved with ADA access, that would go a long way. And so those are those two projects that we got grant funding from through Round County.
Do you envision down the road extending parking north of that?
I would love to. I'd love to start having those conversations with canals, and the way that I have the sidewalk in green there designed, it's conducive to putting parking on the other side of that. And just basically it would be a mirror image of what currently sits there, or the design proposal, I should say.
Canals, you're not familiar with, is a diagonal, the property line's a diagonal.
Yeah, if you look here, so
yeah, from
this red line here is Canal's property line. So Canal owns all of this. And this is our right of way here.
I sent them a letter asking if they wanted to get rid of any more of their own property.
Nothing back?
Not yet.
No?
I did hear that the guy said, oh, I gotta get back to him here.
Sure. 7110.5, Shacksboro Museum, I kept that line item the same, and same with general building maintenance. And that line, that's for the visitor center, basically, the $2,000. And every year we're doing painting or cleaning, fixing the roof. There's something always over there. And then the Canton Woods Senior Center, you'll see that actually was in Renee's budget. $8160.4 tub grinding. That is all of the material that we pick up from streets, leaves, branches, trees. The cost of the tub grinding is increasing just like everything else is increasing, and our frequency will increase as well because the lot next to Highway where we're hauling all the material is smaller than Walk Street. So we can't stockpile it there for 2 years at a time and then do a big grind. We'll have to have the tub grinder there 2 to 3 times a year, and then we haul the material out.
We used to do it twice a year, just so you know, that we do it, not stockpile it for a whole decade.
Sometimes it did go for a while.
8560.4 tree work. I think this year one of my big focus was kind of getting the trees back under control. We have a long way to go, but a lot of that work, I would say most of that work can be handled in-house. We do have Mike is a certified arborist, and given the right tools and equipment, all the tree takedowns was done by Mike and a crew. We rented a lift, got new saws, got new safety equipment, and I believe we still have money left over in that account. So I'm not asking for any increase. We can do most of that work in-house.
You said Mike is certified, or can get
Yeah.
certified,
He'd have to, I believe he'd have to get recertified. I think he hasn't
like
kept up on it.
annually.
Yeah,
Because I had proposed hiring an arborist to look at trees. Could we at least dedicate Mike to go like, where there's the newer trees? Those are the ones that they need somebody to put a schedule together when they should be pruned so that they turn into big trees
Sure.
that we don't have to go
Right.
crazy with.
yeah, we can definitely do that. Yep. Yeah, and Mike's, Mike's passionate about that, so I think he would welcome that. All right, I'm gonna skip to sewer, 8120.2. Sure.
Can I just ask a question? On the sewer personnel, just on the page?
Yep.
So on the main employee lines, you've got Corey, Matt, and Alex.
Yep.
On the overtime, you've got Alexander Gould in there in the bottom, but nothing, he's not, no money or anything? Was that just, is he supposed to be on the personnel account as well as the overtime, or is he
No, that was an
not
oversight.
working
No,
with
it
us
shouldn't be in
anymore?
there. No, that
Okay.
was an oversight on my part.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we
Because
weren't,
he's out of water distribution, I believe.
okay.
8120.2. So this is the big one. I'm hopeful that WEP's going to take over our sewer system. One of our big ask on here is getting an excavator. So one of our big problems in the village is our retention ponds and our swales. What Corey and I are proposing is with an excavator, we'd be able to, that excavator would be operating every day, every day that we're here, between water, sewer, and highway. One of the big projects that I'd like to do this coming year, as I mentioned previously, we've taken out the $30,000 for the detention ponds. With the excavator, would like to purchase it with a forestry head. And what the forestry head would do, would be able to go into the swales, start at like Brown Street has swales that are overgrown. We'd be able to cut them down, cut it back with the forestry head, track in there with the excavator, and then fix any drainage that needs to happen. A lot of the issues with the swales from walking through them isn't necessarily shape or fill in, it's overgrowth. We have a lot of overgrowth in our swales and definitely our retention ponds. I went back the last 4 years, and we were throwing about $30,000 to $50,000 at detention pond cleaning every year. We can manage that in-house. We don't need to be subbing that out. Just to give you an idea, $30,000 is 2.5 days with our contractor. 2.5 days worth of work doesn't clean out one of our 3 detention ponds. So I'd like to use the sewer funds to buy an excavator to help with that. We can also use it down at all our parks. Yabbitt's Trail, Nate and I were down there this summer with my kids and a bunch of other volunteers trimming stuff back. There would be an afternoon in the excavator with the forestry head clearing that stuff out. Corey has a huge need for it in water. I know last year we had to have Castanella in twice, just not because we couldn't do the work, we didn't know how to do the work, we didn't have the equipment to do the work. We didn't have a rock pick, and we didn't have the right digging tools to actually work in frozen ground. That cost, what was that? It was over
10 grand a day.
Yeah.
So Taryn, what's the machine that Chuck bought a couple of years ago, Ventrac or
The
something?
Ventracs,
Well, there was one that he said was able to do the retention basins.
I'm assuming the Ventracs, right?
If
Yeah.
you're talking about Chuck's machine, yes. It does
It's
have
totally- I like the colors.
a brush arm on it, but it's not very well designed to be going on banks and
Yeah.
into that kind of terrain. to clear that.
So would you still need that?
We do use the vent
Good for
tracks.
roadside mowing.
For the roadside, yeah, the roadside mowing, it's good
So like
for.
between
River Street, we use it.
after Jocelyn Circle going out towards Brown, that whole
Oh, yeah,
strip
yeah.
along there.
Brown.
I noticed that was well maintained this
I always
year
have to
compared
ask
to.
because of that.
How about the detention
60,000 you got this year.
area on Smoky Hollow Road? I thought that's what Ventrac was supposed to be able, because it's mainly Phragmites grass.
We brought Tiroli in to do that a couple
Right.
years ago.
But then I thought the Ventrac was being
So
able
the
to
vent-
maintain it.
The vent tracks can, because that is shallow and
It's just Phragmites grass.
Yeah, that will take that down, and we have sent the seasonals out there to knock that down so we don't get, overgrowth in there. But that is the only detention pond that it can
Yeah,
do.
you
The other
get-
two,
The ones up in Aspen Springs.
Aspen
and
Springs,
Buffalo
yeah.
and into that
I
south.
think he was thinking the one in Aspen Springs, he might have Tiroli clean it and then maintain it with his thing afterwards, but I don't know.
it's too wet. We've been in there quite a bit, haven't we, with Brown's
They
Foundry?
have been there.
It's too wet, even with.
So is it a DCE classified, DEC classified wetland now?
It goes into a wetland.
It goes into a wetland, yeah. So with that excavator, we're asking for digging buckets, a grading bucket, a rock hammer, a tamper, and the forestry head with a trailer. And that comes to the $260,000. That, again, we would use that every single day of the week, between water and highway. Corey's digging you're at least, if not twice a week, digging something.
Lately, yeah.
Yeah.
So we get rid of the backhoe?
We would keep the backhoe.
Oh, I didn't think Corey can't sit and
Put
do.
less mileage.
We'd
on it.
keep the backhoe because it seems like when Corey needs to dig, highway needs to dig, right?
It's happened a lot.
It's happened, so,
The backhoe also has more purpose than just digging. We run it as the front end loader. We use it for moving snow and pushing snow piles back and,
I'd see all this equipment and I'd keep adding up more noses.
I'm not proposing any increase in personnel. Yeah.
I would love more personnel, but.
No, I'm a big proponent of modern tools and equipment eliminates those forever costs of personnel. We can get things done quicker with modern equipment, and safer, to be honest.
Other than the rentals of excavators that you've had to do, are there other equipment rentals that you've had to do that this would?
We rented the lift, but that came out of the tree fund. But also with renting the excavator, there were the tamper we rented the forestry head and the bucket too. So all of those ancillary parts wouldn't need to be rented as well.
Okay.
So this is the package that we're talking about, just so you have an idea. That would be the excavator. So it's in between a mini and a full size, rock pick, tamper. And then on the far right, you see two pictures. That's a before and after of the site next to highway, and it was cleared. We did that with two guys. We did that in a week with that forestry.
Made up that little.
So it really speeds up efficiency. You start getting a lot more things done.
That's come with a trailer. Put all the money into it.
I packaged it with a trailer, yes, because we are going to need a trailer to move that.
It was the law.
And then the next big ticket item here is the security upgrades. Again, I've been partnering with the police department. One of their big asks is more cameras in the village. And with the cameras, there would be, every officer would have full access to these cameras at any time in their patrol vehicles and on their cell phones. The great thing about this camera system is it's not native to, the network isn't native to Village of Baldwinsville, it lives in the cloud. So it's easy, infrastructure-wise, it's easy to get anybody on it with a username and password. And again, it's fairly sophisticated, so if there's a person of interest, they can select that person of interest and get notices on their personal device, in their patrol vehicle, and then respond accordingly. Again, I hit Paper Mill Island hard because we do have an RFP out, and I'm hoping moving forward that we always have a vendor there, and there's always activity on Paper Mill Island. And again, with Paper Mill Island, there would be access control as part of the project as well. So bathrooms would automatically lock and unlock at certain times. The vendor would have access to certain areas, but for example, not the electrical room. You need a key for that. So that's Paper Mill Island. I'm proposing a camera at Community Park as well. One camera with access control, again, so that the doors open and close at prescribed times. And the other two areas right here is putting a pan tilt zoom camera on top of the police department. And we'd have this affixed at the four corners here. I know, talking to a lot of the officers, that is a place that needs a camera. And then you can actually put that camera in sensor mode, and it can do sweeps as well, but mainly focused on the four corners. And then a camera here in our parking lot down by the cottage, and that would be focused underneath the bridge. I know there's a lot of, we've had to paint that quite a few times over the summer season, so hopefully to capture the vandals down there. And the last location would be at Mercer Park. Again, we had quite a few vandals down at the bathroom, so we'd have cameras focused on the bathrooms, the parking lot, the basketball court, and the playground as well, again with access control. And this would be an expansion. This is the same company that did the install for us for security cameras at Highway and Water as part of the ARPA funds.
And did you say you had a grant for this or no?
I do not have a grant for this, no.
Because there was the police had what they call the Lead Tech grant, Law Enforcement Technology grant. I'm not sure where they are with spending it.
Okay.
And I know it has to be spent sometime coming up pretty soon, like mid-26 maybe.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering if it seems like, I'd have to go back, I'll send you the grant letter.
Yeah, send it to me, and if we can leverage that.
I wonder, it wouldn't cover this project.
It's part of it though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
I'm hoping maybe there's 40 or 50,000 left in it.
Okay, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Then under sewer, the last line item, the Freightliner dump truck, you approved that last board meeting, so we can remove that one. 81-20.3, last year we put 30,000. I'm hopeful that we won't need to spend any money on our wet wells. So I'm putting no money, I'm requesting no money for that. Sewer department expenses, 81-20.4. I know, I don't want you to think I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. There are expenses still with operating the sewer department. And so since, after Corey and I kind of brainstormed, and we thought it best until we have an agreement in place to still fund the sewer expenses. Because we still have to pay for lift stations, electric for lift stations, and all of those ancillary repairs.
And even if a transfer happens, we don't know when.
Right.
How do you handle, are storm sewers handled in the sewer department now?
It is.
And if so, would that then become a highway function?
I don't know. I don't know.
The highway typically handles the storm sewer.
Well, he's talking funding wise though. No, some of it's covered by sewer. Yeah.
But to Corey's point, if they didn't go with the sanitary sewers to the county.
Which they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
yeah, then highway's
They're
gonna,
gonna bounce back to.
yeah, and highway maintains them now anyway, so it's not.
Hopefully that new sweeper will come to fruition
It will,
someday.
it will.
And it
They're
has-
saying April, first week in April.
And that has a vac pump.
Yes, we got it,
capability.
yes. So we'll be able to send crews out and clean all that storm system out.
And that, refresh my memory, that's DASNY, right?
It's dazzling, yeah.
All right. I'm just thinking of the timing of this thing, and we're gonna.
It's actually CREST. What's CREST? I already forgot what that is. Critical resource and some weird thing.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
First step of going in DASNY is you get to get a CREST number. I have to have that from them.
Again, with utilities, I've increased electric, because utilities are going up, everything else is staying the same. Fuel, again, fuel prices are going up, so I've increased that. Boot allowance, the boot allowance went up, that's just because part of the contract. And then it appears everything else is pretty much the same. And then so this is the big one for sewer. 8120.43, the regulation compliance, that $12,000, that's one of the big ones that sewer pays for, the MS4 program that we do with Onondaga County. Our sewer system pays for that. And again, we're asking for $56,400 to continue replacing the meters. Meters is gonna be a big item for us next year, a big focus. So I'd still like to fund that because we've been made a push in the last month, and we're gonna continue into the 2026 year. Corey, I'm kinda sick of talking. You wanna talk water?
No, do you wanna skip over the personnel?
Yeah, skip over personnel.
The meters,
Yep.
let's say December, whatever it is, 3rd, they say, sign here and we're ready to roll January 1.
Then we're gonna put a big meter order in for,
$56,000 worth of meters, change them out.
You're talking about the sewers?
We split the meters between
Yeah,
water and sewer.
I think we gotta have like input to that, even if they say that, and say, well, we are gonna be ready maybe. I don't know. I'm getting a little bit, I'm looking at the different expenses that we have here that are direct sewer expenses that are not gonna go away when the
Oh, that
sewers
was-
go away.
so we're developing this, Corey and I put together 2
Yeah.
budgets, and we're, just to kinda, to feel this out, and it is gonna be a lot of untangling.
And they're gonna move to the general fund, and there's not gonna be any way, I think we're talking about the water fund going up, and I think we're gonna have to increase the water fund's support of the general fund for at least a year or two to help pay for some of those.
Why is anything going in the general fund?
Because things that we've been paying for out of sewer, like part of health insurance, so that's gonna go wherever those employees go.
And if they all become 100% water, then it all has to go to
Okay,
water.
so that won't, but things like 25% of the liability insurance, I don't think you can just move it to water. I don't-
No, but we get rid of the pump stations and those come off the liability. There are adjustments in there also.
I'm just gonna put
Okay.
it side by side. I just don't wanna get taken by surprise
Sure.
on the general fund and then not have any way to support it. So, okay.
Yeah, it's not a black and white thing, I understand.
Right. Yeah, okay. My job is to panic.
And I don't believe the county has the capability of doing anything quickly, so.
Yeah, right. Don't forget the camera roll.
So, yeah, we'll skip over
Hey, Ryan.
personnel, just do it, yeah, 8320.2.
2022. We're looking to get a new mower down at the water department. With our lack of parks employees this year, the water took back over mowing. everything that the water department maintains, being both of our storage tanks, both of our plants, our sewer lift stations, we wrap that into work for the water department itself and not our summer employees.
So is this a cost, 100% cost of a brand new mower?
It's more of our older mowers are down half the time, and it's a fight to get a mower to be able to do that itself. So we were looking to stage a mower down at Canton Street for the water department guys to use.
Is that how much? Is this a brand new mower?
Yeah, that's the cost of a brand new mower. So the John Deere mower that we got, the zero turn last year, it was the same thing. It's just, I think last year was 12,800. Now it's, you know, like everything else is going up in price.
HVAC maintenance, that's gonna be the same. Electric, gas, and heat, just like everything else, is going up. Our plant pump repairs stays the same. This year we have PFOA and PFOS testing, which became relevant a few years ago that they made us do every year, and now we're on to a 3-year schedule, but those tests are very expensive. That's your plastics and other forever chemicals in your water that we gotta test for. So we're looking for a $10,000 increase on that, with those being added in and the price of regular testing as
Do
well.
we have any of that stuff?
We do not.
And how would it get into our wells?
Filtered through the ground into the water. So it could.
From all that plastic the farmers put on their fields and then plow.
I can't answer that because they don't have an answer for it. They just know that it's in there, so they make us test for it. But yeah, training, we'll keep that the same. Phones, same. Clothing and rags are going up due to the contract.
Dang rags.
That's a big increase.
We do go through a lot of rags.
Yeah, for clothing, I mean,
That's massive.
yeah, we went, well, for boots, we went from 250 to 400. The clothing, I can't remember off the top of my head what that allowance was.
I don't know, the boots would be expensive.
The boots are, yeah.
Gotta have the guys turn in their old t-shirts and make them into rags.
Yeah.
Save a quarter.
Give me that old dirty shirt of yours.
Except for Mike.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You
except
don't
for
want
Mike, you don't mind his,
He gets every moment of use out of it.
Chlorine,
I just gave
fluoride,
my new
salt.
back, you should see it.
We'll keep that the same. That doesn't change daily.
Wait, flip the page. I don't, maybe you'll tell me it's on the next page. The last 18 months was that big thing about lead connections at homes.
It's still there.
And then it was like, we don't know how we're gonna pay for any of this stuff at the state level.
It's still there.
Still
Nobody
floating
knows how
around.
they're gonna pay for it,
Yeah.
but it's still there.
Well, with the, you know, the cutting of the EPA, all of that came down through the EPA. And then it disseminated through the states, and then states to local governments. And with the gutting of the EPA, everybody's kind of like, meh, I don't, you know, we haven't heard anything. So we're hopeful that it just kind of disappears, but who knows?
As of now, in 2027, we need to start replacing any unknown or galvanized services. So we have a year to figure that out.
Eventually, will homeowners have to replace any galvanized laterals to their home?
Yes.
In their house?
Yes. Just leave it at that. 8320.43. Canton Street well lining replacement and well cleaning. It's been 11 years since we rehabbed the well at Canton Street. It was put in with a steel liner to the well. It's a
It's been 11
concrete
years?
casting in well, and it's got a steel liner to it. Problem with steel is it rusts. And it's becoming a problem with rust flakes falling into the well, and just sitting in our well. We clean it 2-3 times a year, but it doesn't change the issue that we have a well liner that's failing. I had a meeting with the health department last week, and we discussed options for it and remedy to it. I want to replace the liner in the well with either poly or concrete, something that's not going to affect the quality of water, and that's going to be costly. So we're asking for $140,000 on that. Water tank inspections, both of our tanks, the health department and state require, or not, they don't require, but it's a recommendation to be inspected every 2 to 5 years. 31 tank was done 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and 48 tank in the entirety of my career here has not been inspected. So, 12 plus years.
I say, I remember it.
So I'm looking to get those done, to bring a company in here that professionally does it,
Or it
inspect
wasn't
it
my
and clean it,
first year or two.
and comply ourselves with the health department. And so all in all, we're asking for $240,000 to be able to take care of our infrastructure.
Corey, which is the more important of the two of those? Just if we only decided we can only afford one of them, I'm not saying one or the other, I don't know, but just so we know.
I would go with the liner.
Liner, hands down.
And how about the tanks?
Can't provide water if we
You
don't
only
have a
can do one
place to
tank in
pull
that
it from.
fiscal
If we
year.
could do one tank and have a plan to do another tank the next year, I think we'll go a long way with the health department.
But
The liner itself, I think, is more of an impact to quality of water. If something were to ever happen, that would be a weak point.
And you mentioned
And a
poly or
contamination.
concrete,
Poly or concrete.
not stainless steel?
I think in a money aspect,
Yeah, right.
you're better off going with poly or concrete.
my issue, like tangent though, my issue with poly is that gonna throw off our PFOA testing?
Yes. And we just put plastic into
Yeah.
our water.
And then the reason why,
Too, so.
yeah,
It's,
and the reason why we decided to do both of the tanks is, I'm sure a lot of you are aware, 20% of the cost, anytime you have a public works project, 20% of the cost on average is mobilization of a contractor. So my thought was, they're here, do both of them.
And you'd count that as one mobilization, even
Correct.
though they're several miles apart.
right.
Because there's not, it's not like we can open the phone book and find, there's only a handful of companies that do this, and they're not from around here.
So instead of, it wouldn't be a 50-50 split, it'd be more like 60 and 60 or 75 and
Yeah.
75 if we did them separate.
Yep, yeah.
Okay.
48's bigger than 31.
Judge the size of it.
48.
Well, technically, in theory, our water is blended.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, skip the personnel for distribution.
So that
We
person.
don't have a rep from the south side, so heck with it.
So that person that was on the one page in error, I didn't see him in any. Alexander Gould, is he, I didn't see him on any of the other pages, is he? Is he currently working for the village of
No, he is.
Fultonville?
No, he is.
I don't know. We'll have to address that.
Okay,
Not gonna pay him.
He just
see, I
opened the
did
check.
my homework. You let Alex know, I'm making sure he's getting paid next year.
That was split between water and sewer
Yeah,
as well.
I can't remember. We'll go through it.
He doesn't show up on anywhere, so.
Yeah, we're addressing that next meeting anyway, so we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Distribution equipment. looking to get another trench box. This past year, we've, with Taryn being here, we've really done a better job of keeping up with safety and being OSHA compliant. Things we did in the past probably shouldn't have been done. That being said, last month, we put a new valve in up on Meggs Road that shuts off Syracuse homes directly. 10-inch main, 10-inch valve. The trench box we have currently, it worked, but the room in there was not very adequate for cutting with a saw and being able to do what we need to do efficiently. We're looking to get another box that we could adjust wider and build higher, so we can do the things we need to do in a safe, orderly manner that's not fighting with the conditions of the trench and the conditions of the water in the pipe. No new vehicle this year. Going well backwash tanks. This has been an issue for, I'd say, the past 15 years with the health department. They've been asking what's inside of our backwash tanks. At done well. Every year it's the same story. Oh, we don't know, we're gonna do it.
Is this a diatomaceous surf stuff?
I believe so.
Oh.
I can't say for certain. I may have read it somewhere in the past in some old whatever record we have down at the water department.
Mark Wilder always brought this up every year, I think.
It needs to be, if it is diatomaceous earth, it needs to be regenerated. And since nobody knows what it is, my guess is the last time it was ever looked at was 1959 when Dornwall was put in. So the health department has concerns about it. We test our backwash water twice a month. Don't have any issues with it, but they're still curious about it. And if it is diatomaceous earth, they want to
find out why it's so awesome and working, right?
actually want to use it for what it's designed for. It is green sand filtration. It does filter minerals and stuff out of the water that come through those tanks. That they're not harmful by any means, but for water quality, the color, the taste, that's what it filters out. They've been asking for it. We've been saying we're gonna do it, and I have a company that can come in here and do it. So we'd like to actually get that done.
So, like I'm looking at all three of those things, Corey, that say OCHD advised, are they all like, they've been advised like years ago?
No,
Or they're recent, or?
that one has been advised for years. The other two, we already did those, the dome wall, drain floor
Oh,
rehab,
right, there's not, it's not, all right.
and the Canton Street wall cleaning.
That just showed up
was-
on a different budget line.
Yeah, that showed up as
Okay.
the liner that we wanna get rid of.
Stuff like that, when a government agency, like, especially a health department, says we should be doing something, phew.
Yeah, no, we rehabbed well 3 and 4 this year. They came back with more than double the production that they were getting out of them. So,
On a positive note, though, with the security upgrades that were finished, they were very excited to see that that is in place now. That was a huge plus for them. So.
yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm not like taking a shot at you
Yeah.
guys.
No.
I'm just saying, we should be like, those are things that.
No, I agree.
When they tell you, you just, and we have funds.
Yep.
You know, so.
Water distribution expenses. Copper, that price is just skyrocketing year after year. What else has increased? Laundry, rags and clothing. Electrical, topsoil, blacktop. We've been burning through a lot of blacktop with the amount of roads we've been digging up lately. We're looking for $1,000 increase in that. Leak detection, I talked with a guy who normally does our leak detection for the system. He comes in every 2 years usually. So we're looking for possibly to have him come in and do a full system survey of our system. There's about 50 miles that he's gotta do. Water purchases. Things electrical.
So we have 50 miles of water lines?
48.9, I think, or 49.8, something like that.
Yeah, around up to 50.
So around about 50.
It's like putting a water line from here to Rome.
Yeah. It's the whole big circle. Yeah, obviously our booster stations, electric and gas are going up. What I say to preserve, building maintenance, we dropped that down. We just rebuilt the pump in there. Everything else is relatively newer in there, so we figured we could drop that down a little bit.
If we get those guys to pay their water bills, we'll be okay.
Oh, it's only one house.
No, there's 2 up there.
Is there 2? 2 of them I gotta go shut off?
No, you have to shut them off yet. We didn't, remember, they weren't red tagged.
Yeah.
They're gonna get red tagged.
Do one more. Oil, grease, obviously, as Terrence touched on multiple times, the price of that petroleum is going up. Maintenance and parts. Another $1,000 for that, which is, again, the price of everything that goes up that we can't fix and we gotta contract out. Other than that,
No hydrants?
that's under valves and hydrants, it's the
Okay.
4th line, 3rd line down for $10,000. We've got a couple sitting on standby and I'm sure we'll run into more problems as we find them.
Are those ones that are like higher flow now or something, or bigger thing on them, or different size?
Are you thinking of the Storks connection?
Yeah,
No,
so, yeah.
that was a fire department.
Yeah,
Are we in good graces with the fire department?
we are now.
Okay.
It's just,
No, I had a very candid conversation with Northwest, because they really wanted us to put Storks on. And I said, look, you know, to put the Storks on, it's a lot of money, it's gonna cost the village probably somewhere to do all of them, because if you gotta do one, you gotta do all of them. Yeah, it's about $100,000. And,
How many?
what's that?
How many were there again? How many were there again?
couple more for.
How many hydrants? I don't remember, how many hydrants do we have?
40-something in the village.
Couple more passes, that's all.
What's that?
It was like 40-something in the village, and each one was, but it didn't matter. They couldn't get their act together until the ARPA money was all gone.
Yeah, 'cause it was arguing about sizes, and so I left it as the hydrant's currently set, you can get on them. Yeah, does it take an extra 15 seconds? Sure, but they currently work, and you can get on them now.
And they could apply for grants directly to take care of
Yeah,
it.
They could. And if, I mean,
Well,
if something
yeah.
you want, you can buy them directly from factory with the Storks on them.
We talked about that.
Buying a whole new hydrant?
yeah, so when you buy a new hydrant, it
Yeah.
comes with the Storks, but then the problem with that is, then you gotta update all your existing infrastructure to the Storks. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a proponent of it.
And they had not talked to Lysander because all the districts we have are Lysander, it's not our hydrants.
Yeah.
That's it, right? $56,000 for some more meters out of water.
8340, yeah.
How many meters is that?
Oh, they're 275 for a 5/8 meter, which is what most houses have in them for meters, so if you'd like me to do the math, I could, with a calculator.
Thought I saw somewhere that there were, I thought I saw 200 meters somewhere, but I don't remember if that was.
Should be like buy
200
get the
sounds
sixth
right.
one free.
It's 200 meters right off the
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought I saw it somewhere,
43.
yeah. I knew I saw it.
You don't make costs.
So I do have one more slide. I don't know when the right time to do this is, but I figured why not since it's money things. I've been comparing our current water rate to what Aqua charges. And you know, Aqua, in my mind, Aqua's they are the biggest water purveyor in central New York, so they set the market price. Currently, we charge per 100 cubic feet. Aqua charges per per 1,000 gallons. I did the conversion so that we're actually talking apples to apples here. So apples to apples, the first, 10,000 gallons, so they charge per 1,000 gallons. The village charges $1.95 per 1,000 gallons. Aqua charges $3.77. And then, so you can obviously read the table and it goes up from there. And you know, this isn't because I work here. This is the third municipality I've worked at where we produce water. I can tell you hands down, we have the cleanest water out of anywhere I've worked. There's no lead in the system. There's no PFOAs. We have very clean water. Yes, are there complaints about hard water? I'll be honest, our water is hard, but that is the nature of the beast. It is not surface water, it's well water. Yeah. Hard water is better for your distribution system. It coats everything in a mineral and it stops leaks. Hard water is, you kind of want hard water.
Hard water is better for your body.
And it is better for your body.
Better for my hair.
Yeah.
Keeps it nice and clean.
But we have phenomenal water and everybody's getting a great deal on it. But Corey and my vision, I mean, I think you've supported us greatly for this last year with the equipment and everything that we wanted to do, and we really appreciate that. And I think you're seeing the work that our departments are putting out. We're developing a 5-year capital plan. We want to start expanding the system. We actually want to replace Maine. At our current rate, we can't efficiently do that. To replace 8-inch ductile iron, it's about $1 million a mile now. That's what we're at, and we need to start. And as Corey just said, we have roughly 50 miles of ductile iron pipe that we need to replace. So I'm proposing that we get our water rate more in line with what the market value is, and I'm proposing a 35% increase. And that would put us at $2.63 per 1,000 gallons for village residents and $3.01 for non-village residents.
Does this include the base quarterly rate, or is that separate?
That's separate. I didn't attack that, just the usage rate. But it's food for thought.
Does the
What's the
Aqua
revenue?
also have a base rate?
I believe they do charge a base rate,
They do,
yes.
okay.
35% more.
And the $1.95, that's just water, and then they pay a sewer
Sewer, yes.
on top of that, like
90%
90%
of
of
the
it.
water.
Aqua has the same parallel cost.
So if we,
What's that?
Aqua has the same parallel sewer cost as well.
Well, the sewers,
They don't charge sewer.
Yeah, they don't charge a different department. This is removing the sewer.
so their $3.77 is,
That's just water.
is every,
So you're only talking going up 75 cents.
Yep.
Our agreement with Town of Lysander is we need to, within the districts, this is one way of ending districts if you want, ever. We can exceed Aqua, then they'll switch over to Aqua. Our agreement state that we won't exceed Aqua's rate.
Well, I mean, and the way, I mean.
75
Aqua's
cents doesn't
increasing
do
too,
it, we're
everything.
fine. Let's go 80.
And this increase is, just to be clear, is separate from whatever shakes out from separating the sewer department. This is just we need to bring our fee more in line with the market value of this.
And there's no reason to increase in village and out of village the same. There's gotta be a benefit to living here, paying our taxes.
And I'd also like to point out, as you can see, with Aqua, the more you use, the more they charge you, where we just charge a flat fee.
What was the thought process there?
I don't know,
Not to dump your pool every year?
but what got me thinking was, I was talking to Jeff, and he's like, oh, I gotta go pay my water bill for $50, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's $50, I said, I pay $130 a quarter.
Yeah, mine's never $50,
It's a lot of work.
except for the one time I had a leak when I was out of town for a week.
What is yours?
It's in the high 30s to low 40s.
What's it?
Do you complain? You've been here since 1 o'clock.
Mine's
Come on.
consistently
The rest of us have been here.
And that's all we have, I appreciate your time, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just make a couple
Sure.
comments about this?
Yeah,
I think any increase you do of that magnitude would have to be timed along with getting rid of the sewers. So that people, the residents are still seeing a reduction. And you could pitch the difference as, you know, going to infrastructure, because that's been a hot button that people have talked about. Second thing I would say is, we put together a plan, an overall plan of a timeline for replacing the mains and the expense over that time, just your estimate of $1 million a mile or whatever, something like that, where we would be able to talk about how we would fund that and how the increases would help support that funding, things like that, just so we've got the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
sure.
Because there, you know, I've just noticed it online, there's a group of people who want us to go to Aqua and they think it's better tasting and cheaper. So it's not, you know, they're not informed people,
Yeah.
which are the most dangerous kind.
And I would remind everybody, so 80% of Aqua's, it's all surface water. And 80% of it
Yeah.
comes from Lake Ontario,
Yeah.
20% comes from Lake Atisco. In this
Not out
area,
here, none out here from Tisco.
nothing from out here is coming from Atisco. It's all,
Tisco goes to the city.
yeah. So, you know, you are all aware of what's on Lake Ontario. Ganay's got a nuke plant. Prevailing winds move west. There's 3 nuclear reactors in Oswego. There's 2 wastewater plants that have issues, to say the least.
There just was a report released about the additional pollutants that are in there. Our EPA reports are better than Ontario, than Aqua.
Yeah,
It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, and that's why I don't feel bad with we have phenomenal water. It's phenomenal water.
Rochester, Buffalo, Cleveland, you look at the plumes going out into the lakes, and it's all coming in.
2 wells.
No-brainer, just give a description for each.
Well, 2 well sites, I should say, more than.
50 plants,
Yeah.
5 wells.
So are we done? All right, I was gonna say, want to wrap up the
Yes.
meeting so the camera can
Yeah.
go off?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks everybody for sitting through this like 4.5 hours or whatever. I know it's grueling. I really feel personally, and I think the mayor does too, it's important for everybody to see what the departments are doing and why they put forward what they put forward, and it's important for the departments to hear some of the concerns of the board, so it works well together. The next steps for us will be, I will send you this week for Thanksgiving, a tentative budget that takes these departmental budgets and then our anticipated revenues into line or into account, and send that to you. And there will be a gap that we will have to start chipping away at, and that will be through, you know, transfers from capital funds, grants, additional revenue in other forms, and cutting expenses. And that will be the challenge, and hopefully we'll get that into I have to figure out how I want you to get those to me, to put them in and keep building that budget. And then we'll hit December 2nd, you'll have your executive session, your meeting then, and after that we can see where we are with the tentative budget and go from there. But that's that.
I saw a number of things in here that I didn't see when I put it together, that I think we can use capital funds that we've got for some things, and so, thanks a lot for coming, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks for the project.
I appreciate it as well, since people gave up their Sunday to accommodate my schedule, you know?